that could help win China's approval for a TikTok sale. For now, he's buying more time to work on a deal for American ownership.
President Trump is signing an executive order extending the timeline for TikTok to find a new owner for another 75 days. The social media and video app faced a Saturday deadline to divest from its owner ByteDance, a Chinese company, or be banned in the U.S. The president says the deal requires more work to ensure all necessary approvals are signed and says his administration will continue working in good faith with China. Several potential suitors have emerged, including Oracle and Amazon.
Fox's Jared Halpern picking through rubble in Tennessee.
It's heartbreaking to watch. It's hard to take in.
Governor Bill Lee as parts of the South and Midwest brace for more storms. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm still going.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The twin tornadoes of Indiana. Most of the southern half of Indiana is covered with rain. That includes the Indy Metro. If the rain stays on course, it will cover most of the state. It's 57 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Two tornadoes formed Wednesday night near each other and ran a parallel path in Adams County in northern Indiana, destroying barns, trees, ripping off some mobile home roofs, and finally dissipating near Mercer County, says the National Weather Service. Those were 2 of 8 tornadoes confirmed in the state, only one of them reaching EF2 strength. Most had wind speeds of around 100 miles per hour. Marshall and Kosciuszko counties also had tornadoes, as did Brownsburg and Carmel. Strong to severe storms could happen again tonight.
Now, this isn't going to be the same type of risk that we had a couple days ago, but there is still some chance for an isolated wind gust in excess of 60 miles an hour and some hail about quarter size.
Aaron Updike, forecaster with the National Weather Service. Flooding is one of the big concerns because of all the rain that we've already gotten. Female athletes' lives are being changed by having to compete against biological boys. But a bill set to become law could put an end to that. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Protecting girls from biological boys who have repeatedly shown a history of hurting them in competitive sports.
State Senator Chris Garton talking about a bill that would ban biological men from participating in college women's sports.
North Carolina high school student who took a spiked volleyball off of the face.
Indiana already has a ban on transgender girls competing in girls' sports at the K through 12 level. This bill extends the ban to public and private universities, and the bill is headed to the governor's desk.
In Greencastle, 55-year-old Ernest J. Trumpold has been arrested and charged with public nudity, which is a misdemeanor. State troopers say the incident was Monday on Manhattan Road when both adults and, unfortunately, children got a show. If you've gotten gas this week, you know prices have been going up steadily. Now they are coming down just a bit. The state average today is $3.29 per gallon, says Gas Buddy. You've got traffic and weather coming up.
WindowNation.com, that's where you go to replace your cold, drafty windows with energy-efficient ones from Window Nation like I did. I love my Window Nation windows. I've saved a ton on energy bills. And your new windows can be installed in 1 day or less.
Go big or go home. And that's what they're doing at Window Nation. Right now, get four windows for free with every 4 that you buy. And there's no limit. The more you buy, the more free ones you get. 0 interest, 0 payments for 2 years. You don't pay anything until 2027, and you get 4 windows for free when you buy 4. And on top of that, get a free entry door when you buy a house full of windows. This deal is not going to be around forever, so you got to hustle. 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
South end of downtown, eastbound 78-minute delay from Tibbs Avenue into Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 stop and go from 29th to Meridian Ped. Bad delay on westbound 70 in Hendricks County because of a crash before State Road 39 on the right shoulder. Traffic backed up all the way to State Road 267 for a 38-minute delay. I'm considering US 40 instead. Inbound 69 stop and go traffic from 100 116th Street down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
It's deja vu all over again. Rain, flooding here in central Indy. My name is Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs, not Kenny Rogers on Twitter. He's filling in for Nigel. And let's go to the hotline right now. Let's not waste any time. Let's bring on Ryan Morse, meteorologist for Wish TV. Ryan, what are we looking at right now?
Hey, how's it going, guys? We do have steady rain, which is lifting through central Indiana. I guess the good news with tonight's storms is the tornado threat is much lower in central Indiana compared to what we had on Wednesday. Still wouldn't rule out a warning or two potentially in southern Indiana. But what we're going to be eyeing here in the next couple hours is steady rain lifting through the area. For the evening commute, we might get a break between 5 and 7 o'clock. Then the next round of showers and storms getting into the state. What we're nervous about going into tonight is we might have a band of heavy showers and storms setting up just north of I-70 within this band, 2 to 4 inches. Most spots in our area are going to be 1 to 2 inches. And our severe threat timetable is roughly 10 o'clock onward into the early morning hours. But hail and wind are going to be our main threat through that time frame.
Oh, and that's the bummer because there are so many people. Last time I checked, before I went on the air, it was around 500 plus people from AES Indy that still don't have power. And the estimated timeline on their website was by Sunday at the latest. Well, Sunday is a couple days away. That's a pretty long time. And now you're telling me more wind and possibly hail tonight?
Yeah, definitely for tonight. Now, I do want to ease the concern again on the tornado threat tonight. That's mainly to our south. Still wouldn't rule out a warning. And once we get our next round of rain, we're going to get another round of heavy rain for tomorrow. No severe threat really with that one. So I guess just prepare for some flooding concerns here in the next 24, 48 hours.
Awesome. Ryan, maybe you can clear this up for me. The Carmel tornado, I had a question about this. So when it happened, I was watching video of people videoing the tornado, but then it took 2 days to officially designate it as a tornado. Why the delay?
Well, so I'd say to speak to that, the Weather Service has been out in so many areas. It would be much quicker for them to get there. So, again, the storms happened Wednesday. They easily could have confirmed it earlier on Thursday, but they also have many spots to go to. So our total for tornadoes right now in central Indiana is up to 5 from Wednesday's storms, and they're still counting. And then you have 3 in northern Indiana. So that's the kind of the reason why they have to send out survey crews to all different locations and then kind of evaluate the path. And they're still not done evaluating the path on the tornado in Carmel, but have it at EF1 damage. And I think they're also trying to figure out if it stayed on the ground all the way into Madison County before releasing more details.
Okay, since we're getting into technicality questions here, I would like to ask a follow-up here. When did it go from like an F tornado to an EF tornado? We had this discussion the other day, Ryan, because when I was growing up, it was like an F5, an F4, F3. Now it's EF5-4. Where the hell did E come from?
Yeah, so that was in, I believe it was 2007. So they made that switch in 2007. Basically, the Weather Service and I believe with the Storm Prediction Center, they both kind of got a better scale with the updating building codes. And the EF scale is completely evaluated based on what damage it caused. So it has nothing to do with what's going on radar or how high debris is lofted. It's strictly this house was built this way, and if something happened to it, like how high the wind gust basically affected the foundation, or was it just roof damage? So basically, it's a strictly damage-based scale is kind of the way they switched things up in 2007.
Ryan Morse, meteorologist for Wish TV, joining us. And by the way, I'm not just saying this because you're on the air and I'm trying to blow smoke up your backside here. You were phenomenal the other night. That live coverage that you guys had on Wish TV, before my power went out, we had you guys on, and there were so many different things happening, from thunderstorm watches, tornado warnings, you're tracking damage on the radar. You guys did a great job with that.
I do appreciate that. And I know I'm the face, and I was kind of up in front with coverage with our other two meteorologists. But what people aren't really seeing is you have an army of producers, reporters, and directors running around. And also they're in my ear like, hey, we already have this report of damage here, and we have a reporter on the way here or there. So it does take an army of people, and obviously we never root for these types of situations, especially when we're getting into very populated areas where you see the tornado is on the ground.
So all those people in your ear, at any point, do you look at Steve and Deanna and go, hey, shut the hell up, I'm live on TV right now? Like, is there any of that happening?
I wouldn't say so. The only time where you're like, all right, hey, we need someone to wrap up is when we get a new tornado warning. When you get new info that you clearly just because, for example, I believe the Brownsburg tornado, where it started off to the south and west, it was just radar indicated at first, and then you see the Weather Service say, hey, look, there's a debris on radar, and then you immediately know the tornado's on the ground. So when you get that kind of quick info, you want to kind of get that out there. So, yeah, there is a little bit of that going on.
So, Ryan, you have huge fans here at the station. Hammer says you're the best. Nigel says you're the best. Allison talks about you all the time. I have a question for you. You came here from the Boston area, correct?
Correct.
Okay. If the Colts are playing the Patriots, who are you rooting for?
Don't make him do this, Jeff. Don't make him be
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I do root for our local teams here because I've been here for 3 years, and I love the city, and I always want to see the city thrive, even though it's contrary to some of the teams I rooted growing up. But I do love it here.
I respect it. As long as we can both agree that the Patriots are cheaters, it's fine.
Sure.
All right, Ryan, one more time here before we let you go, man. Timeline of what we can expect for tonight and who's going to be impacted.
Okay, so I'm going to walk through tonight into tomorrow because we still have a couple more active days, and then we can sort of quiet down for next week. But basically for tonight, this next couple hours, you're probably looking outside and see the steady rain is falling. We may get a break in the action during the parts of the evening commute if you are traveling home. Another round of showers and storms is going to be entering the state, and that line, what we're concerned about is the Weather Service has been noting this as well, and I've been seeing it in our weather models here, is there is going to be a thin band of heavy rain that sets up north of I-70, and within that band could be a county or two wide. Basically, I'd be alert from Hamilton County all the way up to Kokomo. Within that band, we could see 2 to 4 inches of rain fall tonight alone, and we've already seen 2 to 3 inches in many spots of central Indiana. So that's a concern flood-wise. Line of storms entering the state basically from 10 o'clock onward. Wind is our main concern. Hail's a slight concern. And with regards to the tornado threat, it's much lower than Wednesday night, but I wouldn't rule it out, especially in south central and southern Indiana, getting a warning or two. And we're probably expecting some sort of severe thunderstorm watches in the area. There is no severe threat right now for Saturday, although we're expecting another round of heavier rain basically from the afternoon into the evening hours. So overall, the flooding concern will continue at least through Saturday night.
All right, Ryan, last thing. I just got a text from your colleague and friend of the show, meteorologist Tara Hastings. She texted me, ask Ryan about the horse. So I'm going to ask you about a horse.
All right, yeah. So I'll clear. I know I mentioned this. I think it was last Friday. I'll clear this up. So I kind of have a horse ownership share, and it's 0.002%.
Okay.
So it's a very small ownership share for only like $100.
Okay, so if the horse wins the Kentucky Derby, what are you talking about here? What do you get?
0.002% after fees or whatever.
You get one rose, basically. One rose.
Basically, I get one rose, but I get the opportunity to go in the winner's circle.
Awesome.
Well, that's awesome. Well, tell you what, send me a message of who the horse is, because you know me, I'm a degenerate. I'll bet on the horse, and if that son of a bitch wins, Ryan, we're going to have a party, okay? Send me who the horse is, and we will have a good time. I'm rooting for the Morse horse. Let's go.
Well, here's the issue. I wouldn't even recommend betting on it because so many people own this horse that the odds go way in its favor when it probably shouldn't be in its favor.
Ooh, inside information.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Now I feel like Pelosi. We got some insider trading going on. All right.
Yeah, you're going to bet against it.
Ryan Morse, meteorologist for Wish TV. Ryan, good stuff, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Coming up here in about 15 minutes or so, Rob Kendall is going to be covering this property tax press conference that the Republicans in the House have called for Indiana's property tax. Nothing says you're about to get screwed like a Friday 3:30 press conference. So Rob's covering that, and at 4 o'clock, he's going to call in and recap what's going on, how we are probably going to get the shaft when it comes to property taxes. So we've got that on our radar this afternoon. And also, Jeff, if you need a reason to drink tonight, it is Beer Sample Friday. It's also National Tell a Lie Day.
Oh.
National Tell a Lie Day. Best lie you've ever told to somebody.
I once told a girl at a bar that I was the voice of AOL, and she didn't believe me, and I go, "You've got mail." And she goes, "You really are."
I guess I won't be needing these underpants anymore. Wow. We talked about this the other day, although I think it was new to producer Allison. I once told a chick at a bar, hot chick wearing a Guns N' Roses t-shirt, that when I was a kid, I won a Nickelodeon contest that I got to blow the whistle in the song Paradise City. Wait for it. Wait for it. That's me. Wow. That was me.
Is that really you?
Well, she thought so.
All right.
And that's all that matters. In honor of National Tell a Lie Day, here at the Hammer and Nigel Show, let's revisit one of our favorite segments, Great Moments in Lying, where we sent our old producer, Ari, out to speak to people at Carb Day, where he just made a bunch of crap up and see how many people would buy it. The Hammer and Nigel Show presents Great Moments in Lying.
I don't know if you guys remember back in 2007 after Nigel Laskowski won the Indy 500, instead of drinking the milk, he decided to just smoke a cigarette instead. Do you guys remember that at all?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when that happened?
I mean, I was just like surprised. Like I totally expected him to drink milk. So
thinking back to that, you're not surprised by his behavior at all?
Not based off his off his history, no.
We're asking people about the famous 2009 race where Nigel Laskowski won, and then he took his pants off post-race. Do you remember that at all?
Absolutely. This is WIBC.
Yes, correct. But what were your thoughts after he did that?
Well, it was ballsy.
All right, so we're thinking back to the infamous finish in 2009 where after Nigel Laskowski won the race, he took off his pants instead of drinking the milk.
I couldn't believe that.
I mean, I remember being there with my father, and he teared up a little. Like, what was your reaction upon seeing that?
I just couldn't believe it. You know, I'm all about the tradition of the track, and but it was funny. You know, it was hilarious, but I just couldn't believe that it happened.
Would you believe me if I told you that he said this year, if he wins the race again, he is just going to start drinking Jim Beam and smash the bottle of milk?
Is this the Brickyard 400?
That's what I was thinking. Like, knowing Nigel Laskowski, just remembering what you do about him, does it seem like something he would do?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, after the 2009 incident, I wouldn't put anything past him.
Great moments in lying.
Oh, my God.
Great moments in lying on National Tell a Lie Day. All right, Matt Bear, promise me you're not going to lie to me. Tell me the truth. Are these roads good? Are they really good? Or are they not so good?
They suck, Hammer. Inbound 65 stop and go
on.
traffic from MLK to, they're not that bad. MLK to Meridian Penn, 7-minute delay. Eastbound 70 stop and go from Tibbs Avenue into the South Split, 8-minute delay. Westbound 70 crash clear, still stop and go traffic from State Road 267 out to the county line with Morgan, but we are on the move. Inbound 69 stop and go traffic, 116th down to 82nd Street for a 10-minute delay. delay. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Again, property tax presser beginning in about 10 minutes. Rob Kendall's covering it because he's a nerd, and he will join us at 4 o'clock with how we are getting screwed. Be ready for that. 56 and rain right now. Storms tonight at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you need air conditioning service and want to work with a local independent dealer that you can trust, like Stevenson Heating and Cooling? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
The Builders Association of Greater Indianapolis's Parade of Homes is coming up April 25th through the 27th and May 2nd through the 4th, featuring Indy's top builders. Custom home builder Joyner Homes will have both of their Greenfield model homes featured on the tour, giving you the opportunity to meet their new home specialist, find out about floor plans, pricing, and available lots. JoynerHomes.com for more info and reserve your ticket to receive a free all-access pass for the Parade of Homes at BAGI.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Again, let me be the latest to say thank you to Guy Relford, who filled in on Monday Gun Day, and Jeff Boggs, who's been filling in the rest of the week as Nigel suns his buns down in Florida. Thank you for filling in, man. Now, for somebody that's listening, maybe they're new to the program, and even though we mention it quite a bit, you used to be a writer for The Late Show with Dave Letterman.
That's right. I started as an intern when I was going to IU. I applied to be an intern. I was an intern. I got hired back on the production staff, became writer's assistant, and then became a writer. So I was there for almost 5 years. Yeah.
So as we get closer to tax deadline here in America, I'm reminded of a great bit that Letterman did where he sent a bunch of people in bunny costumes to H&R Block. Were you a part of that?
I was the lead bunny in all.
You were the lead bunny?
Yeah, I guess they found me to be expendable in case something bad happens. So I was always the lead bunny, and the H&R Block one. It was on 8th Avenue and 54th Street, and it was at tax time. And let's just say some emotions were running high during tax time. And so the bit was, let's see how many bunnies we can fit into their tiny shop. And things went horribly wrong.
How many people in a bunny suit could go into an H&R Block before management starts kicking you people out?
And an ill-fitting bunny suit at that. Like, none of them were custom made to our sizes.
Okay, so I've got some audio of this clip.
Oh, cool.
So you were bunny number 1.
Yes.
And at some point, and you'll hear it at the end of this clip, the manager of the H&R Block gets super pissed and, wants to throw hands.
How many guys in bunny suits can get into an H&R Block? All right, send in the first bunny.
And this is you.
Bunny number 1.
Walking into
the H&R Block. There you go. Got
big Easter bunny suit.
Yep. I go inside right away.
There's one.
And I walk up to the window
there he is.
and try to open the blinds.
Give me bunny number 2.
This was Christian Berhini, our writer's assistant.
There's bunny number 2. There we go. Playing how many guys in bunny suits can you get into an... Wait a minute. Oh, there's some
here comes the angry manager.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I believe the answer is 2.
So he's grabbing me right now, throwing me out the door. And then our security comes in.
You were thrown out of the H&R Block by the angry manager.
But what you don't see is him screaming at me inside the second I walk in. He's like, get out of here. Get out of here. So I'm just standing there waving like a moron to the camera.
And you open the blinds of the H&R Block so the guy that's doing the hidden camera across the street can see you, and you're just waving like an idiot.
Yeah, you don't really know what to do. You don't go to college for that. And no one told me what to do. So we would do a bunch of those bits. There would be who gets kicked out of a restaurant first, a guy with 10 dogs or a guy with no shirt on? And so I would walk into the TGI Fridays in Times Square with 10 real dogs.
You were the 10 dog guy.
Yeah, and you get in there and there's no one to help you inside, and they're like, can we help you? And I'm like, do you have a table? And so, those were always fun. The bunnies were fun, and the stunts, who can hail a cab first? A guy with no pants wearing a Yankees jersey, or a guy with no pants wearing a Mets jersey?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and I won. I had the Yanks jersey on and won.
Scientific research, actually.
That's right.
How many times were you
University
involved?
degree.
How many times were you involved in those, wacky bits out on the street?
Like I said, they seemed very comfortable with me getting hurt. So I was a lot of time, I was Santa Claus.
Did you ever volunteer for that, or were you voluntold for that?
Here's the fun part. When you're a writer's assistant on Letterman, at the time, you're making $600 a week living in New York City. Those bits paid $700. So when the script...
In addition to your salary?
In addition to the salary.
Oh.
I made more money my second year on Letterman being in bits than I did getting paid. So it was an essential part of it. And also I just fit the outfits. I looked like maybe I could be a Yankee and maybe I could fit into that bunny outfit. Or one time Bill Murray was on, and he came up with a bit. He wanted to try to hold his breath through commercial break. And so we came back from commercial break and he's passed out, and I'm the EMS guy giving him oxygen.
I remember that.
Yeah,
yes.
It was awesome. And it's like, when you're cast in that bit, in your head, you're like, I can pay rent this month. So.
And you got to pitch at Yankee Stadium as a result of one of these bits, right?
That was, as far as that made it into the final show, it was a big thing. Letterman rented out Yankee Stadium, and Dave was pinch hitting for the Yankees. And I used to throw a bit in high school. And so I was the pitcher, the Oakland Athletics, and, the whole place is rented out. George Steinbrenner's there. Reggie Jackson is there. And I'm getting ready, we're getting ready for the bit. Dave comes out of the dugout, and everyone's nervous because Grandpa's there. And he looks at me, and he slowly walks out to the mound. You could hear a pin drop, and I'm like, oh, no. He comes up to my ear, and he goes, if you hit me, you're fired.
That's awesome. Dude, I could talk Letterman stories all day. That goofy style of Letterman humor was the biggest motivating factor for who I am as a broadcaster now. Like, I know I'm a conservative and Dave's a crazy leftist, but like that kind of stuff. How many guys in a bunny suit can you fit into a tax store? That is the kind of stuff that captivated me as a kid.
Well, you and I think, both grew up that way. You couldn't believe what you were when Dave delivered the gift basket to GE. At Rockefeller.
His bosses.
It's mind blowing when you're, in high school and you're like, I can't believe people do this. So the whole experience was very surreal to me. I never took it for granted, and it was awesome.
By the way, if you're watching the YouTube camera, that's a strong Golden Girl shirt. Now, this is the second Golden Girl shirt I've seen today. Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish, who filled in for Rob earlier, had a Thug Life shirt with the girls from the Golden Girls on it.
Did he really?
He did, and it was strong. Yours is a Sex in the City shirt. Stand up so we can see it on the YouTube here.
Yeah.
Sex in the City, but it's the Golden Girls on the shirt.
This was yet another shirt that Molly bought me. She buys me she bought me the Trump with the holding the McDonald's fries.
Right.
And this one. So nice going, Molly.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
Looking for a great deal on a new Lincoln? Come to Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $15,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. We look forward to seeing you at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 57,785. Offers good through April 30th, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The evacuation order in Shelby County. Rain has moved in and a lot of it. A flood watch remains in effect, and you'll hear more in a sec about what that could do to people and property in low-lying areas. It's 57 downtown. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. Shelby County has issued a mandatory evacuation order for people in flood-prone, low-lying areas, and some people are already loaded up and headed out. WIBC News just spoke with emergency management, and they say flooding is happening there, and they fear with more rain headed in, it could put people's lives in danger. Severe storms and flooding are possible tonight and all weekend, and a flood watch is in effect for the entire area. If you have a 401k, you are likely paying attention to the tariffs. Fox's Jared Halpern with today's happenings.
President Trump's tariff increases on trading partners are significantly larger than expected, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says, and will mean larger than expected impacts on the economy.
While tariffs are highly likely to generate at least a temporary rise in inflation, it's also possible
that the effects could be more persistent.
Powell suggests the Fed is unlikely to change its benchmark interest rate. President Trump says that would be a mistake. In a social media post, the president says this would be a perfect time to cut interest rates and says the Fed chair should stop playing politics. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
President Trump firing National Security Agency Director General Timothy Hogg and other NSA authorities drawing scrutiny from Democrats. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson with more.
News is not sitting well with some lawmakers on Capitol Hill, particularly with the vice chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner, a Democrat, of course, who just posted on X. General Hawk has served our country in uniform with honor and distinction for more than 30 years, at a time when the United States is facing unprecedented cyber threats, as the Salt Typhoon counterattack from China has so clearly underscored. How does firing him make Americans any safer? It's not immediately clear why those leaders were fired. Their ousters come weeks after Elon Musk visited the National Security Agency located in Fort Meade outside the nation's capital in Maryland.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
If you love spring and Indy but hate to paint, do what Lynn did. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Now, you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter, because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hello, all my
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
Inbound 69, 9-minute delay, 116th Street, 282nd. Eastbound 465, stop and go Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Westbound 70 grinding from Emerson into the North Split to add inbound 65, 8-minute delay from the White River down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 76-minute delay before Belmont into the South Split to add south side, southbound 465. Stop and go traffic from Sam Jones Expressway down to Man Road. That's a construction delay with the left lane closed. At eastbound 465, stop and go from 31 past 65. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust a local, trust employee owned. Trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy skies with more rain throughout the day today. We'll see highs right around 60 into the 50s tonight with storms and could see some more intense rain. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hello, all my friends. This is Brett Michaels, and you're listening to my friends right here, Hammer and Nigel, and they're about to rock your world.
Barguments, 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 barguments.
We seriously could do a full 4-hour radio show on this topic today. My name is Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs is filling in for Nigel today. Producer Allison is here. And we're linking up with our pal Bass Dan Levy, the man who has been running the site Barguments now for a little while. It's America's fastest growing podcast. I don't know if that's true or not, Dan, but we're going to go with it.
I'm going to use that for advertising, so sure, give me more. Give me more.
So each Thursday, I'll send Dan a text and be like, hey, what's our Bargument tomorrow? Just in case I want to pull some audio pieces here. And what did you tell me we were doing yesterday, Dan?
Greatest TV theme songs ever.
Oh, dude.
That's a big one, right?
That's a big one, because we're going to leave some off the table, and we're going to hate ourselves for leaving it off the table. But this is a strong topic. Greatest TV theme songs of all time. So whatever yours is, hit us up on the YouTube chat right now. Look for WIBC's YouTube channel. We're streaming live. We got cameras in studio. Get in the chat. Or you could go to Twitter at Hammer and Nigel. Let us know yours. And each one of us are going to give you our answers. And Dan, we're going to start with you.
All right. After a lot of deliberation, and I know you and I were talking off the air via text, that I have a lot that I would definitely put up there. But there is one that I can listen to. And if somebody said if I needed to do, because baseball is going on, if I needed to walk up to the plate and hear a song, it's this song. And it's the theme song to What's Happening.
Oh, yes!
It's the greatest of all time.
That's good.
Now batting, number 14, Dan Levy.
Weighing in at a combined weight of 500 pounds.
You'd be like Rerun trying to catch up to the pickup truck at the end.
Because it is now 2025. That was a 70s show, and I've yet to hear a theme song put a smile on anybody's face as quickly as that opening boom, boom.
I think the visuals of it were pretty great too, right? They're walking down the street, and was it Shirley Hemphill? Was she?
She was the girl that worked in the diner.
Yes.
What was
and
her
there
name?
was a guy named Rerun, and any kid who grew up with a guy named Rerun, we were like, I love this guy.
Right,
I don't even know what he's
Raj and
talking
Rerun.
about, but he's awesome.
Raj, Dwayne, and Rerun.
Yes.
And Rerun could also dance. There was a great episode where he breaks out the Rerun dance, which Kid and Play challenge later on in House Party.
It was pre-Carlton.
It was. Oh, that's strong.
And I'll even put a little more on top of it. I actually met Raj and Dee at a Comic-Con once, and they were the nicest people I've ever met.
That's
so I was
awesome.
like, you're only adding to what it is that I love about that show.
Okay, so Base is on board for What's Happening. Allison, I'm going to go to you next.
So mine's going to be a little surprising because I thought theme songs, and what is the OG theme song? And, I don't even have to say it. The Andy Griffith theme song.
Oh, wow.
You hear just the whistle, and you know exactly.
The whistle is good.
It's spreading through generations.
The youngest one in the room breaks out the oldest TV theme song here.
I'm surprised no one has sampled that in a rap song. Like that would be actually kind of a cool hook right there. Allison, that's really old school for you.
Thank you.
The Fishing Hole, I believe, is the name of the song officially. The Fishing Hole.
Oh, is it?
But it's AKA the Andy Griffith theme song.
Just a simple whistle.
And Hammer, have you ever lied to someone and said it was you who was whistling?
I have not.
Okay.
I reserve that for the whistle in Paradise City only.
Okay.
Mr. Boggs, I go to you.
Well, mine's a giveaway. Anybody watching the YouTube right now sees my shirt. I love a lot of theme songs, and this was difficult because my runner-up was the a cappella version of Growing Pains. The Show Me a Smile Again.
Show me that smile.
But I didn't go with it. What I did was, what theme song makes me the happiest? And it's the Golden Girls.
Thank you for being.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That is a great call. I don't know how that wasn't on my brain.
Yeah, it builds. This is like the plane's taking off, and you're thinking about your grandparents.
Yes.
And then you're struggling as a young kid. You're like, why do I think Betty White's so hot? And it's just
right.
Yeah.
See, as a kid, like Dan backed me up here. As a kid, you see the Golden Girls on TV, and you think, my God, these women are near death. I'm a 47-year-old grown man right now, and the Golden Girls are on TV, and I'm thinking, hell, 2 out of 4.
Hey, yeah, like Rue McClanahan. Yes,
right.
Definitely.
2 out of 4 at least.
Yep.
Absolutely. 100% Rue for the win. Never be Arthur, I'll tell you that much.
That would
I'd
be a
rather
rough
have
one.
Sophia any day of the week than be Arthur.
All right, so I have another one, and maybe we can talk about that here in a little bit. I have a 1A and a 1B.
Ooh.
But if I have to hitch my wagon to something, it's a song that I think I could put on while I'm working out, and it still helps. It's a total banger. The theme song to the Jeffersons.
Well, we're moving on now.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
in my mind, when we finally move to the new Urban One building, like a couple blocks away, this is going to be on a repeat loop when I finally move my box of crap into the building, and everybody's welcoming me with open arms.
And you mentioned earlier about the rerun dance. There is a Jefferson walk.
Yes,
that he does
Sherman.
that theme song. He also does it in the TV show Amen. But that walk is so legendary and iconic. That's the image that conjures up in my mind when I hear that song.
You know what's interesting, though? You didn't even get to the good part of that theme song. That's how good the theme song is. The first 12 bars are great, but then you get to Beans Don't Burn in the Kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Here, YouTube camera. I'm going to break out the George Jefferson pimp walk. Are you ready?
Yes.
Nice. That's not bad. That's actually really good.
Thank you. All right, so
the song will do it for you. This song wasn't on. I'm not sure you could have pulled that off.
All right, let's take a little break, and then we'll read some of the folks that are commenting on the YouTube chat, the Twitter box, and I've got some runners up. I know Dan has some runners up. We're going to continue this conversation when we come back. We're doing Barguments here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Hey, it's Matt Bear. Warm weather is coming, and now's the time to call Cochran Exteriors to beat the spring rush. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and more. My friends at Cochran Exteriors will give you a free consultation with options to meet your budget, and all without the high pressure or gimmicky sales tactics. Over 10,000 satisfied area customers, a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's why Cochran Exteriors is my choice. Visit CochranExteriors.com.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again, because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's. 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 Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
As a caregiver, remember it's important to prioritize your own physical, mental, and emotional health. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. In a moment, I'll explain how looking out for yourself isn't about being selfish, it's being sensible.
At Cardon Senior Living Communities, you'll find our teams share a commitment to enhancing the lifestyle and well-being of the people we serve every day at every stage of life.
You simply can't always be the best version of you on this caregiving journey. As cliche as it may sound, connecting with others who share your experience is my #1 recommendation for caregivers. You'll soon realize you're not alone, and in the process, discover a much-needed network of aid and compassion. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joyce House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Zero Res. Get 3 rooms cleaned starting at just $119 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. Call 317-388-5141. Online at zeroresindy.com.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off plus 18 months no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
Now that spring is here, storms can happen at any time. WIBC will alert you to severe weather from the Chapman Heating Storm Desk. For all your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and drains, call the man for all seasons. Chapman. Go to chapmanheating.com.
Matt Bear's got a look at the roads.
Southbound 69, 10-minute delay from 116th Street, 282nd. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic, White River Bridge down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 delayed by 9 minutes, Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois. Still a little bit slow in Hendricks County on westbound 70 from State Road 267 to the county line. That's because of an earlier crash that has cleared. South side crash, South Franklin Road at Fry. East side crash, Shadelet Avenue at East 82nd Street. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust a local, trust employee owned, trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
55 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Could see some storms later on. So the argument you could have at a bar that we're doing right now is best TV theme song of all time. Dan Levy, the man behind Barguments, what were some of your runners-up, those that almost made your list, Dan?
The one that will always bring me back to a childhood memory would be Taxi. It's such a simple theme song.
Right?
And I'm pretty sure it's just a loop of a cab driving on the Brooklyn Bridge, and it just is such a good tone for what is a really funny television show.
My 1B, because I said I have 1A, 1B. 1A was Jefferson's. My 1B was the theme song to Sanford and Son, the Street Beater.
That is legendary, yes.
Because I don't know if I'm the only one that does this. Instrumental songs, sometime I'll make up my own lyrics. Here, Allison, go ahead and play it. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on. Wait for it. Here comes Sanford. Here comes Sanford and his son. Here comes Sanford. Here comes Sanford and his son. And they have got some junk to sell. See? That works. It totally works.
That is so good.
How often do you do that, Hammer?
You really don't want to know,
okay.
Jeff. Like, I spend a lot of time. I've got my own lyrics to the Monday Night Football theme song.
I like that.
Bum, bum, bum. Here comes the game.
You know what? That's a good one, too. That's a TV show theme song.
I did one for Game of Thrones. It was, it's the Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones.
Another
and then
one.
you ended by going, the ending was bad.
Please don't watch the last 4 episodes.
I thought this was one that Allison would bring to the table because, again, she's the young one on the show here. I thought it would be the theme song to the cartoon DuckTales, which is a total banger.
That one is on my list too. That was definitely a jam.
Turn it up, Allison.
I mean, right away, that bass.
Right?
Like a hurricane.
Now, if you go to the Hammer and Nigel show Twitter and Facebook right now, keep it playing. The video of Beyonce's Single Ladies syncs up perfectly to this theme song. I mean, it's uncanny. Woo! You got to get the woo-woo in there. It's like singing Rocky Top.
Woo! So good.
So again, Hammer and Nigel, Twitter and Facebook. Make sure your volume's turned up. But it's no editing involved. Just the video synced up to the theme song to DuckTales. It's going to blow your mind. Woo! Mr. Levy, where can we find...
That's the song that gave false hopes that you could swim through a bank of coins.
Right. Like it was a liquid somehow.
Yes. I would not come out like in a lot of pain and scratches and broken limbs.
Oh, my pal Mindy Winkler texted me Three's Company. Three's Company was good, too.
That's a
I
good one.
love Three's Company.
Wait,
but are you a Roper person or a Furley person? That's a argument, too, we've had before.
I'm Team Furley.
Yeah, I'm RF.
Yeah.
Ralph Furley.
100% Furley.
And
Although,
it's the ascot. It's the Deb Burke's, COVID task force ascot that really got it for me.
What about
I always liked when he would pretend to be a macho guy. He would, cinch his pants up and his lip would get all macho and be like, "You're right, I'm macho."
Wait, we're in Indianapolis, and if we're talking about great theme songs, if you know it from the first line, this is it.
One day at a time.
Come on.
Yes, that is a great one.
In retrospect, how creepy was Schneider? Like constantly trying to bang that girl's daughter who was well underage.
Best building maintenance guy, Schneider or Buffalo Butt?
Oh, wow. I got to go with Schneid.
I'm going Schneider, too.
I think he was the last guy that had the Hitler-style mustache and thought it was cool. Rolled the cigarette sleeves up into a sleeve. Like, it's a look on its own. It takes a lot of moxie to sport that look, post-World War II.
He's a macho man. Another macho man.
Where can we get more Barguments, Dan?
I'm going to give you one last theme song, and then I'm out. I would definitely give you the Reading Rainbow theme song, which any kid who is at home sick would hear that Reading Rainbow song, and that would do a lot for a lot of kids out there. But if you want to do more Barguments, you can do the YouTube channel. It's Barguments over there. The podcast you can download wherever you get your podcasts, and a Facebook group page that is always active. It's going on right now. And if you're on there right now, I posed one out there. Is Pulp Fiction a mob movie? Is it a mobster movie? So if you want to jump on there, you can as well.
All right. During this commercial break, go check out Barguments and check out our Twitter and turn the volume up of DuckTales synced up with the video of single ladies. I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind.
Genius.
Dan Levy, you're the man. We appreciate you, brother.
Talk to you guys next week. I appreciate it.
Rob Kendall. He's going to tell us how we're getting screwed on property taxes next.
We are from Indiana. We know all about hard work, loyalty, and pragmatism in money management. These values are at the foundation of Trajan Wealth, locally owned and veteran-led. Matt Bear here. Hey, Trajan Wealth will collaborate with you, get to know you, and help you into an investment portfolio that's tailored to your visions of the future. Your first consultation is free. Call to schedule at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan Wealth is different from their competitors, focusing on low expenses, manager tenure, and tax efficiency. Their fiduciary advisors get to know you, and your individual portfolio is custom tailored to your goals and timeline. One size does not fit all. Call and schedule your first appointment at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first consultation is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Advanced solutions from Comcast Business help turn today's enterprises into engines of modern business. It's how retailers become logistics mastering, supply chain transforming, seamlessly restocking, frictionless paying favorite shopping destinations.
Thank you for shopping.
And how nationwide restaurants become customer-focusing, touchscreen ordering,
Second window, please.
rapidly customizing, quick-serving eateries. It's how we turn financial firms into market tracking, client servicing, cyber securing economic engines.
Loan approved. Congratulations.
And how hospitals become the patient scanning, data managing, welcome to the worlding, life-changing healthcare facilities that we all depend on. With leading networking and connectivity, advanced cybersecurity, and expert partnership, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities. Restrictions apply.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Spring is on its way, and the greenhouse will be filling up soon at Sundown Gardens. The nursery lot is filling up with a great selection of trees and shrubs arriving weekly. Don't miss out on getting an early start to the planting season. And while we wait for the greenhouse to stock up, take advantage of finishing indoor spring decorations. 20% off all gift shop decor at Miss Mary's Gift Shop. Sundown Gardens is now open Sundays from 11 to 4. Sundown Gardens, located on the corner of Spring Mill and 186th Street in Westfield. SundownGardens.com.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
After China hit U.S. goods with a 34% retaliatory tariff. Fed Chair Jerome Powell with this warning.
Tariff increases will be significantly larger than expected. And the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth. The size and duration of these effects remains uncertain.
He also says it's too soon to say what an appropriate Fed response will be as President Trump urges Powell again to cut interest rates, the Dow finishing at 38,314. The president posting on social media earlier today that China panicked and played it wrong. The White House also considers the new jobs report as evidence his economic plan is working. 228,000 jobs added in March, nearly double what economists expected.
My goal as a labor secretary is to reinforce what President Trump is already doing, and that's to get on the ground and make sure that we are paying attention to the American workforce. For far too long, they've been forgotten.
Labor Secretary Luis Chavez-DeRemer says the president wants fair trade practices for all Americans. A federal judge says a Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador must be brought back to the U.S.
The Justice Department conceded an administrative error led to Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation last month to a notorious prison in El Salvador. A federal judge now says the Trump administration must arrange for his return to the U.S. Abrego Garcia was deported with other migrants accused of gang membership. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13 and suspected of human trafficking. His attorney says there's been no evidence presented.
Fox's Jared Halpern. In 2019, an immigration judge ruled he could not be sent back to his native country over concern he could face persecution. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why some people are being told to get out. Rain is coming down in the Indy Metro. A flood watch is in effect. It's 58 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending.
Actually, we do have some low-lying areas already that have the water up to the homes.
Dennis Radican is the Emergency Management Director for Shelby County, where a mandatory evacuation order is in place for people in low-lying, flood-prone areas.
Historically, the places that we are looking at, we've had to send in the Swiftwater Rescue Team to get people out because they wait too long to evacuate.
He says they mean business. The sheriff is involved and has been going around letting people know that they may intervene. The National Weather Service says flooding is likely.
Given the fact that we had 2 to 3 inches of rain Wednesday, whenever we get that succession of rain in multiple days, that's going to just ever grow that flood threat.
Forecaster Aaron Updike. No travel restrictions in Carmel because of the tornado damage.
We were able to get all of our roadways opened up yesterday, which was pretty phenomenal response to that. We had a couple power lines down that drug that out a little bit longer.
Deputy Police Chief DJ Sheff says some people have been looky-looing it with their phones, though.
We just want to make sure that we're mindful of, as we see the damage, as we drive by the damage, that we're cautious with our driving, that we're being very careful with that.
Thousands of people still don't have power in southern Indiana, and the crews are working hard to get the electricity back on. Here in central Indiana, AES says it has about 90% of its customers' lights back on as of this afternoon. 8 tornadoes confirmed from Wednesday night storms across the state. Those were either in northern Indiana or the Indianapolis metro. The ones in Adams County included twin twisters that traveled close to each other and damaged outbuildings, barns, and a grain silo before dissipating near the Mercer County line.
All the storms were kind of fighting for energy from each other. So in a way that probably made it a little bit less dangerous, I guess. Obviously, there was still stuff that happened, but it could have been much worse.
Jim Anderson with the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
A warm and friendly showroom and their showcase of estate jewelry is constantly changing. They're always purchasing and looking for new, old treasures, and your fine jewelry may be worth more than you think. The staff at Pierce Jewelers, a trusted name since 1968, will help you understand and evaluate your memorable pieces, and they'll make sure you receive superb service and expert counsel. They'll guide you through the process, explain each piece, and why the item's value is a certain amount. No appointment needed, but there are times they'll need to take in your items to further examine and evaluate them. Pierce Jewelers doesn't charge for this process, nor is there any requirement for you to sell your items. Pierce Jewelers will make sure you receive a competitive price for your valuables, and you'll walk away knowing you've received their best and honest offer. Call Pierce Jewelers today at 317-574-3333 to learn more about selling your jewelry and other valuable precious items.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, Chris, stay off the circle right now. If you are looking to travel Monument Circle by car or by feet, I would stay away. Police right now, a large presence here on the south end as a man has parked his car on the southern spoke of Monument Circle and was standing on top of the hood of his car waving a flag. And I can't see it from here, but just stay off Monument Circle from right now. Hammer and Nigel have more on this coming up in a few minutes. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Tibbs into Meridian, Illinois, 11-minute delay. Inbound 69 stop and go 116th to 82nd for an 8-minute delay. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic MLK to Meridian Penn. Crash on the east side, Franklin Road at Fry and Shadeland Avenue at 82nd. Traffic sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy skies with more rain throughout the day today. We'll see highs right around 60 into the 50s tonight with storms and could see some more intense rain. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
We got action. Downtown Monument Circle, it's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs, not Kenny Rogers, on Twitter is filling in for Nigel. We're going to connect with Rob Kendall here in just a moment. He's been covering this property tax press conference, and we're going to find out how we're getting screwed in just a moment. But we've got action on Monument Circle. Matt Baer, do you got me back in the traffic center?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What is going on? You had some information.
A few moments ago, Hammer, about 10 minutes until 4 o'clock, we heard some loud noises happen on Monument Circle. Then we looked outside and saw a man parking his car on the southern spoke and blocking the southern spoke of Monument Circle. About 30 seconds after, police started responding to this man who was now standing on the hood of his car, waving a flag with black lettering. It's a white flag with black lettering. I cannot read it from here, but police are responding right now. And a few moments ago, yes, with guns drawn, and this is going to be on the southern spoke of Monument Circle, so we are advising everybody to please stay away from Monument Circle at this time, especially when it comes to driving.
All right, Matt, we'll touch base with you here in just a moment. Jeff, you went down to the Circle and took some video, which we've posted on our Hammer and Nigel show, Facebook and Twitter. Could you make out the flag?
I could. I went down there to get some fresh air, and lo and behold, the police, there's 5 police officers with their guns drawn on the gentleman. The man is holding a flag that says Free Haiti, and he's screaming over and over again, "Rise up, Haitians! Rise up, Haitians!" And so it's something about Haitian oppression. It does not look like he has a weapon on him, and he's far enough away from his car. But it's a serious situation. The guns are out.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Again,
Hey, Hammer.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, I do want to let everybody know the man has not been detained. This is still a very much active situation.
Okay, so don't come down here to take videos like we have done.
Right.
Be better than that. That's what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying, we take the videos to help everybody out, but if you
Right.
can stay away from the circle right now, that'd be awesome.
All right, so again, keeping our eye of what's happening on Monument Circle. Meanwhile, over at the Indiana State House, it sounds like there's a good old-fashioned lube session taking place because a bunch of people are about to get screwed. I think it's a Diddy party. Rob Kendall's been covering this property tax press conference. Rob, nobody has been the face of property tax more than you. You have been the man that organized the property tax rally. You've been complaining about how ridiculous it is for a number of years, and nothing says I'm about to get the shaft like a 3:30 p.m. press conference on a Friday. Walk me through what was said.
Well, yeah, I thought that guy in the circle might have just come from the State House after having to listen to that press conference about property taxes because, boy, I'll tell you what, Hammer, it was exactly as we predicted. There is very little in it in terms of actual relief for homeowners. And the kicker on this, and we knew this was going to happen because this was in the original monstrosity that Jeff Thompson, the head of Ways and Means, had put forward. Basically, for it looks like any property tax reduction you're going to get, it'll now be offset through an income tax increase. So you're just basically, you're still going to get screwed. It'll just be a new way of getting screwed.
Okay, talk to me like I'm 5 here. So if somebody's listening to the radio right now, they don't know as much about this story as we all do, but they've been interested in it. Talk to me like I'm 5. What's going to happen?
Well, first of all, of course, because this wasn't live streamed anywhere, because these people would sooner shoot themselves in the face as be transparent about anything. Nikki Kelly did the live tweeting of the event, including the flyer they handed out. So that's what we're working off of right now. Nobody's seen the actual language of the bill or the amendments. But what it looks like is in this bill, there is a very small amount of property tax relief that many people would get. However, you always have to look in the details. And in this bill, based on the language they threw out, both in the press conference and the flyer, local governments would then be able to raise your income tax. Local income tax would have the ability to go up to offset the property tax cut. So you'd still be paying it just by a different means.
Okay, so this was the biggest issue locally in the last election, right? It was the biggest issue locally, and that's why the property tax relief plan was SB 1. This was the signature piece of legislation that Governor Braun, Lieutenant Governor Beckwith wanted to roll out to the people that voted them into office. Sounds like we're not going to get anything close to what was promised or what we want. Who do we blame for this?
Well, these state reps and senators are scared to death of these local government people. I don't get it. I don't know why. The only thing I can figure is they believe a challenge, the most likely challenge to defeat them, would come from a local government person, but they are scared to death of these mayors and these superintendents and these county council people, and they are not going to do anything to disrupt the gravy train that these people are on. And so it's like the bill keeps getting worse. The initial bill from Braun was very good. It was simple. There was a property tax bill reset. There was a cap of growth. There was referendum language change. And then each time somebody else gets this bill, they bastardize it a little more. And you took what was a 40-some-odd page, easy to understand, good bill that helped people. Now we're in the 230s in the House version, and there's minimal, if any, actual help because it appears the property tax reductions you might get, not everybody's going to get them, by the way. So some people will actually end up paying a lot more out of this bill if you don't get the reduction. It's going to be offset because these local governments are certainly going to raise your income tax. So you'll end up paying the same or more anyway.
Okay, so where can we get more information on this, Rob?
Well, hopefully someone will put the actual – they're going to vote on this on Monday. Now, I talked to 2 state reps who said we haven't seen anything yet other than what the public has seen. So think about that. They're going to vote on this on Monday, and people in the actual government haven't even seen the thing yet. How many people you think are actually going to understand this thing Monday at 10:30 when it gets voted on, Hammer? The answer is nobody, because the people who wrote it don't even understand it. So we'll try to find it this weekend. We'll try to find the actual text, and then Monday – Casey and I will try to give you some more information on how you're about to get screwed.
Rob Kendall, nobody's covered this stuff better than you have, my friend. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so that is what's happening at the Indiana State House, a good old-fashioned screw job. Meanwhile, out here on Monument Circle, this guy with the Free Haiti flag is now doing laps around Monument Circle, and the police, they're moving with him, but weapons are still drawn. Our news director, John Herrick, is out there right now, and we're going to try to connect with John here in just a moment, but yeah, this guy with this Free Haiti flag is still kind of doing laps around the circle, kind of went up on the northern end of Monument Circle, ran up the stairs almost like Rocky, and was waving his flag. I can't tell if he's got anything on him or not, whether it's a weapon of some kind. I don't know. But the police certainly still have their weapons drawn on this guy, and it looks like Monument Circle is closed off at this moment. So, Matt Barrett, let me go back to you with the WIBC Traffic Center. We're watching this situation unfold on the circle. What else is going on?
All right, Hammer, we look at Monument Circle because it is closed now, or at least it's supposed to be. One car just got by the police. Let's watch out for that. Let's stay away from the circle right now as it is shut down because of this police investigation and this disturbance on the southern spoke. So Monument Circle shut down. Follow me and Matt in traffic, and I'll keep you up to date here from our bird's eye view. Looking at inbound 69 crash at 82nd Street. It's on the shoulder, causing stop and go traffic back to 106. Eastbound 78-minute delay from Tibbs to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 69 stop and go traffic again back to 106th Street because of that crash. Inbound 65 slows MLK to Meridian Penn. That is an 8-minute delay. Crash south side Franklin Road at Fry Road. Crash east side Shadeland Avenue at 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping and code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right, right now we've got gray skies. We got some light rain. It's 55 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Could see some more severe storms later on this evening, which means more flooding. Severe winds are expected, which means you could have more debris in the streets. Please be careful and be weather aware. Now, we're keeping our eye on this story on Monument Circle. There appears to be some dude just walking around waving a Haiti flag, and police have weapons drawn on this guy. We will get an update from our news department. We'll bring that to you here in just a moment. And to respond to those on social media, I can't put the camera over there. It doesn't reach that far. Some people wanted me to put my YouTube camera to the window. It doesn't reach that far, or I totally would. All right, so don't go anywhere. We got a lot going on. We're getting screwed on property taxes. We got severe weather. We got a lunatic on the circle. Man, we're loaded on a Friday. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Trust employee owned. B-Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to be.
All right, we have got a little breaking news out of Monument Circle. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Jeff Boggs is filling in for Big Nige. It's 93 WIBC. Our news director, John Herrick, has been covering the story out of Monument Circle, as well as Jeff Boggs. John, I can hear some yelling in the background. Is everything all right?
Yeah, so there was a man who was driving in this silver Honda Accord, and he gets out of the car. He's got a white flag that says Free Haiti, and he starts screaming at the police, Free Haiti, I'm going to die. He's telling the cops to kill him. He's still screaming right now as he's being hauled away to jail. He's screaming more about Haitians, wake up. Haitians, wake up. That's the main thing he's saying right now. And the police, he basically took the police on a whole loop, on a whole circle, around the circle, if you will. And then he came back right in front of the Embassy building, right in front of South Bend Chocolate and Sushi Boss. And they subdued him with beanbag rounds. They shot him that way. They didn't use any real bullets. They just tried to get him on the ground. And once they got him on the ground, they arrested him. And now they're taking him off to jail. But,
and I just saw the authorities put him in the police paddy wagon, whatever you want to call it down there. So he is now locked up. But there were shots. They weren't actual bullets, but you're telling me shots were fired.
No, and it was coming from behind me, and I heard a pop, pop, pop. But then the police very quickly made apparent that was beanbag. I did speak to an eyewitness at the scene here briefly who said that the man pointed a gun at him and he wasn't sure why. He's over here talking to the police right now, and as soon as he gives his statement, I'm going to talk to him and figure out if he knows anything else about this man or if he knew him beforehand. But he's the only other eyewitness that had any sort of contact with this man before he got out of the car, waved the flag around, and started yelling, Free Haiti. And then when the police were telling him to put his gun down, he was saying, kill me, just kill me. Of course, they did not want to do that, so they did everything they could to just subdue him and take him off to jail.
And, John, let me go to Jeff Boggs, who was out on the circle during the commercial break. You heard the guy yelling some stuff, too.
Yeah, I was actually pretty close to him. And now they're saying he had a gun in his hand because when I was looking at him, he didn't.
Yeah, no, he did. He did have a gun in his hand initially. Okay. But that was now the eyewitness I spoke to briefly said that he had bullets in the gun, but that he eventually did not have them.
Okay.
And that he was out. He ran out. That he didn't have bullets, and he was trying to pretend like he did. I'm going to try to get more information from him as soon as he's done talking to the police. But because he seems like he might have a little bit more of a history with this man that was causing a scene now. As everybody's coming out onto the circle now from nearby.
Right.
It's not exactly a hidden thing anymore.
Yeah, I think I walked down there right at the beginning, and he was yelling, "Haitians leave, Haitians leave." So obviously that's one of the things. I thought the police officers showed incredible restraint, because I've seen a lot of these things in downtown L.A., New York, and it was that situation where, man, it could have gone south quick, and I think the police did an incredible job.
Yeah, they did. They really did everything to try to calm him down. And once they did that, he was calm. But then as they started to arrest him, he started screaming about his mom and his sisters and his family. Again, I don't know if he has relatives or family members in Haiti, but he kept making reference to that. So clearly, someone who's having some trouble, big time. And now they're starting to put the crime scene tape up around this tree and around this light pole to block the area off. And I'm assuming we're going to get more of a police briefing here at some point from possibly the public information officer, William Young, who shows up and does a lot of these briefings. But, yep, the police presence has certainly gotten bigger here.
So, again, arrest has been made on the circle of this crazy protester. Weapons were drawn. Shots were fired. They weren't actual bullets, but shots were fired to subdue the protester. He has now been arrested, placed into custody. John, last thing here before we let you go. At any point, did you feel like, man, maybe I'm not in a safe place here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't think I was in a safe place. But, 5 years ago, I was out covering the riots. So I'm kind of used to this. And then we had the whole Israel-Palestine protests on the circle not long ago. So this is part of the job. But I was at a good distance. But yeah, you could definitely feel the tension in the situation escalate a little bit. But like Jeff said, the police did an excellent job, I thought, of de-escalating the whole situation.
Did you see the shots that were fired?
I did. I think I saw one because they were telling everybody to take shelter immediately. And get into the building. So I hopped into the South Bend Chocolate, and as soon as I did that, I was still trying to take video on WIBC's live account on X. So you can probably go back and watch that. But I think I saw him put his hands up and turn around, and I think I saw a beanbag hit him in the back just to try to knock the wind out of him and try to get him to calm down. But I'm assuming we're going to get an update about that, about how many beanbags were fired and that sort of thing. So I think I definitely saw one deploy.
Well, I tell you what, man, it looks like great police work out here on the circle from the IMPD and all the folks that came down. Great job by you and Jeff Boggs covering this story, getting the video. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch up again here soon, John. Thank you.
All right. That sounds great. Thanks, Hammer.
All right, so situation on the circle of the crazy protester that had a weapon. We're finding this out. Had a weapon, and weapons were drawn on him. He was doing laps around the circle. Officers had rifles out, and it was pretty touch and go for a little bit there. He's running up and down the stairs of the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, waving his Haitian flag, but shots were fired. They weren't actual bullets. It subdued the protester, and he is now in custody. He's mouthy. He's yelling, but he's in custody.
Yeah, it was very loud down there, and I was close enough to, you could really see. I mean, it gave me flashbacks to Los Angeles. That's like a Wednesday afternoon walk through Los Angeles. But the tension was thick, and again, my goodness, those police officers. Could you imagine dealing with this every single day? And the way they just did it was the right way to do it. So
100%.
Yeah.
Because had they made a simple mistake of any kind, you'd have Hogsett, Ryan Mears just waiting to unload on these people.
Right. And the other thing is, when you're standing down there and you're looking directly at it, there's a car. Okay. And you don't know what's in the car. You don't know if there's a detonator in his hand with a car bomb, so there's all those things going on. But, that was a jolt.
Just another Friday downtown, baby. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Come on, Indy. Don't use the spring to paint your house year after year. Do what Deanna did. She called Rhino Shield.
I was noticing some cracks and the paint's faded. I was like, okay, I think I should get my house painted. So my neighbor had a Rhino Shield placard in the yard. And after they were finished, I was just, wow. With the warranty and everything, it just seemed silly not to go that route.
The ceramic coating of Rhino Shield is specifically formulated for our climate.
So the Rhino Shield crew came out. Nothing was damaged in the process. I was very happy. They just didn't leave a mess. You couldn't even tell they were there. And the house looked so different. It just looked like a new home.
Backed by a 25-year transferable warranty. And now get the protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Rhino Shield, I think it increases the value and the curb appeal of your home. Definitely worth it.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Neighbors helping neighbors and how that's working out. Rain in central Indiana and over the majority of the state. A flood watch is in effect. Some communities already flooded. You'll get more about that in just a minute. It's 57 in Indy. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. In Carmel,
We just had a great community response to this.
DJ Sheff is Deputy Chief of Police.
And we've had some community members reach out and ask to see if they could help out in various ways, those that were not affected much in the physical aspect of things on their own property.
But he's asking people not to do drive-by recordings of the damage because it's dangerous. Something else that's dangerous is the flooding happening in Shelby County.
We are telling people in low-lying areas that are prone to flooding to evacuate their houses. So, yes, we do have an order in place.
Dennis Radican, Emergency Management Director, says if you're in one of those flood-prone areas, evacuation is mandatory, and they have the law going around this afternoon to let people know. The Senate's moving forward with a framework for President Trump's agenda, but it has to get past one very important person before there's a vote. Fox's Chad Pergram tells you who that is from D.C.
Democrats want to brawl. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer plans to, quote, put the Republican agenda on trial during the all-night session. But what's in the bill or out depends on a Washington power player you've never heard of, Elizabeth McDonough. Elizabeth McDonough is in government and one of the most powerful people you've never heard of. She's the Senate parliamentarian, a referee who decides what's allowed in the big, beautiful bill based on special Senate budget rules. As the process continues, everyone watches what McDonough rules is in or out. Her calls could alter the trajectory of the bill.
You've got traffic and weather coming up.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place is a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They close fast,
and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, Monument Circle still shut down, at least at the southern spoke, because of that earlier police activity and disturbance that we had. The man has been detained. It looks like there's no threat to the public at this time, but please avoid the circle for now. Also looking at southbound 69 crash before 82nd Street, blocked the right shoulder, causing stop-and-go traffic. Back to 106th Street. Eastbound 70 stop-and-go from Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois, 9-minute delay. Southbound 65, 8-minute delay from the White River Bridge to Meridian Penn. Crash northeast side, Shadeland Avenue at 82nd. Crash east side, Franklin Road at Fry. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust a local, trust employee owned. Trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy skies with more rain throughout the day today. We'll see highs right around 60 into the 50s tonight with storms and could see some more intense rain. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You know what makes me happy? Team coverage, baby. I get off on team coverage, and that's what we had. We had an impromptu lunatic on Monument Circle waving his flag. We didn't know if he had a weapon or if he didn't. We didn't know what was in his trunk. Maybe he had something, maybe he didn't. He's doing laps. Weapons are drawn. Police have rifles out. Not only do we have Jeff Boggs going down there to get some video, we have John Herrick, our news director, down there getting all the information. Matt Bear may have been the first person to get information. Man, this is why I love the Hammer and Nigel show, and this is why I love this radio station.
And where's Nigel right now? He's on the beach in Florida.
Wearing a thong, if you saw our social media yesterday.
Nothing wrong with that.
Again, excellent work, Matthew. Great job. Because, again, sometimes when crap happens, things move pretty quick, and you got information quickly, and this is why you're the best damn traffic reporter in Indy.
No, thank you. This station's so rock and roll here. I remember the riots several years ago over the summer when Kurt Darling and Rob Connett were...
And Herrick was down there, too.
Yeah, and John Herrick were all taking cover because of some of the shots that were fired during the riots, just happening like a quarter block away from some of these guys. I mean, it's such a privilege to be... Did you guys hear the pops? I don't know what you could hear from here, but did you hear the pops?
When I was down there, I did not.
Okay,
so.
Yeah, there were some very large, loud pops that happened on that southern spoke, and we all started looking out the windows, and that's when our news director, John Herrick, went down and started getting the coverage. But right now, the circle is still closed. We're just really happy that this is being resolved without any violence right now. And you guys have talked about the police, IMPD, just incredible work here this afternoon.
Textbook.
Textbook, yes. By the book, very professionally done. You saw them create this wall when we were talking about, I believe it was the rock salt or the beanbags they were firing, but they kind of created this wall. When these guys go to work, you talk about teamwork, and when these guys start working together, Katie barred the door. This is a fine police agency here in the United States of America. It was impressive today.
Damn right. Matt Baird joining us in studio. So in addition to the little breaking news that we had there on the circle, we've been keeping our eye on the road conditions, not because it's the usual potholes we're dealing with this time of year, Matt, but it's been rain after rain. There's been severe weather. There could be more tonight, more this weekend. We're dealing with a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, we are, and that's the thing, man. We're ramping into construction season about the same time that we've had this little sprawl of Indiana weather, this incredible system that came through over the weekend. And now as we go into the week, as we start to get ready for more, I don't want to say torrential downpours because I'm not a meteorologist, but we're going to get some heavy rain, it looks like, this weekend. And this is when we have to remember to do the little things like turn our headlights on in the middle of the daytime, like say, I don't know, 4:38 in the afternoon. Good time to turn your headlights on if it's raining. Not to mention the flooding and the ponding. You got to watch the viaducts. You got to be careful on the on-ramps, and especially watch out in the construction zones for construction workers. You're going to see them out in limited distributions today because of the weather, but they are going to be out there as we are going into construction season. Here we go, baby, into construction season. You got to love it.
I couldn't help but laugh when you said the line, I'm no meteorologist, because that was one of my great phrases back in my single days. Like all my buddies and stuff, we'd get ready to go out bar hopping at like 11 o'clock because back then that's when you left to go out.
Sure.
Now I'm like in basketball shorts and asleep in my couch. But
I know, right?
I would tell my friends, like I'd put on cologne, I have a good shirt on. I'm no meteorologist, but it's about to be raining witches in here.
Oh.
Or something of that ilk.
Just 20-year-old kind of Ball State, you know.
And yes, I said witches, but I think we kind of know what we're talking about
You
here,
said
right?
nice young women here.
Something that may rhyme with it. So, yeah, we're keeping our eye on the flooding. And plus with the wind, Matt, tree branches that blow down. We had the unfortunate situation where power lines were on the road in Danville and it cost the life of a 27-year-old man. Like, we have a lot of fun here, but this is serious crap that we're dealing with.
It's very serious. And this is, I had a friend of mine text me the other day because I sent her a picture of somebody sent me a fallen power line. I sent it to her and I say, hey, check this out. This is what the storm damage did the other night because we're all kind of doing that a little bit. And she says, is that line active? Is the fallen power line active? And it doesn't matter. When you see one of those things down, you got to stay away from it, you know, and you really have to. And I'm telling this to everybody listening locally because there's this little spot outside of my apartment building where you make a right-hand turn, and it looks like one of the boxes that contains one of those power lines is just laying down on the street. Oh. And it's in the box, but, man, you stay away from anything that involves power lines. You really have to do that, especially if you're driving on a two-lane road. Say, I just hypothetically, this didn't happen, but like Westfield Boulevard up in Nora, you have one lane coming, one lane going. I mean, if you have a power line that's crossing that two lanes, you can't go into oncoming traffic. You need to turn around and avoid that situation, especially when it comes to that flooding. Do not get involved in that.
And with this Danville situation, again, I don't know the specifics of it, but it sounds like maybe the power line fell down, hit the car, because the car did catch fire. Man. So the gentleman got out of the car and then encountered more power lines. Just a horrific situation. But you can't be out in these types of storms, right? I guess that's the big takeaway here. I know you got to go to work or you're coming home from work. Maybe you're coming back with your family somewhere, but find somewhere to go and just chill if it's that bad out.
God bless his family, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I look at 465, okay? 465 Thunderdome, 52.7 miles of complete chaos. I call it the worst interstate in America. I'm sure that's not true. It is in my heart. I don't want to be out there when the sun's out. I don't want to be on 465 when it is good weather, let alone the snow, let alone the ice, let alone rain and heavy rain. Don't like driving in it. Don't like driving on 465. If I can stay clear, I'm going to.
Okay, let me ask you this really quick. The Fishers area, this corridor of construction, I drive it every day. It's horrible. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, the rain was coming down so hard at like 6:15. You're going through the bobsled chutes, you know, trying to follow traffic. At one point, the rain was coming down too hard to see in front of you. What do you do in that situation, do you think? Because you can't hit the brakes, otherwise somebody's getting in back of you. But I couldn't see anything in front of me, so it was a Jesus take the wheel moment.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary as hell, and I really feel for you, Jeff. I remember blowing a tire on the Shadeland Avenue entrance ramp on 465 once. Right in the middle, I was just surrounded. You know, wow. Throwing elbow room is what I'm in. What you do is you take your foot off the gas and you hit your hazards. Okay.
Okay.
And you start to move slowly over to the right. Actually, I'm saying this wrong because my head's in 1,000 places. You turn on your right turn signal, start moving lane by lane over to the right. Then you pull off onto the shoulder for a little bit until the weather clears. That's what I want to do.
See, that's what gets crazy, though, because in the construction zone, they have no shoulder.
This is the thing. This is the thing in that construction zone. Sometimes there's not a shoulder, especially when you were coming up that express lane on northbound 465 last summer. You had the express lane. There's no out there. I mean, if you stall out or if you break down, people are going to have to try to find a way around you, and it's a dangerous situation. In areas with a shoulder, first things first, and it's so hard to do, especially if you're a young driver, don't panic. Gradually make your move. It's the same thing when they say if you lose control, you don't just rip the steering wheel one way or another.
Right.
You have to make a calm, smart decision. That's where experience comes in. But yeah, just go find yourself a shoulder until that weather passes. That's what I'm doing.
Good.
Chatting with the traffic beast, Matt Bear, here on the Hammer and Nigel show. A couple comments from the YouTube. A young lady, Terry Miller, because you're on the YouTube camera right now, Matt. I like seeing Matt's guns, to which Ann Matlock responds, me too, with the heart emoji. Chicks dig Matt Bear.
Oh, that's really sweet. I'm humbled.
That needs to be the next shirt at our merch store. Chicks dig Matt Bear. And then some sort of like Interstate 69 sign because it's the Hammer and Nigel show.
I-69 every day is the shirt. That's the one that I want.
Jeez.
Hammer and I have been on camera for 2.5 hours. You and I have been on camera. Not one heart.
No.
No, nothing. You come
and my
in,
wife's in the chat.
Yes. You're in for 10 minutes and people are talking Matt Bear's guns.
Oh, man. I don't see myself like that. I'm totally humbled. Thank you. That's really sweet.
How many Matt Bear calendars could we sell? Allison, if we had like a Matt Bear traffic calendar where each month, like let's say it's December, there's shirtless Matt Bear and he's got Christmas ornaments hanging off of his chest. Like
I have my nipples pierced with Christmas.
Oh, no.
You're devaluating it very quickly.
Wrapped in garland for December. Nothing but carrying an American flag in July.
Everything's dyed like a checkered flag in May.
You're just holding a turkey leg in Thanksgiving.
For Easter, I'm dressed as the Easter Bunny.
Where's that bottle rocket coming out of in July? The Matt Bear calendar is happening. I'm telling you right now.
We got to do it now. This is amazing.
You guys need to check out the Supporting Sobriety podcast. Again, Matt Bear and Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC newsroom. You guys do this great, phenomenal service and show. Like, it's a great broadcast, the Supporting Sobriety podcast. You are a recovering alcoholic. Ryan has had problems with substance abuse in the past. So you guys have got together and you've talked about your roads to recovery. Take me through what clip we're going to hear today.
Yeah, this month is Alcohol Awareness Month, okay? Alcohol is still killing more people than all illegal narcotics combined, okay? And I'm talking fentanyl, any opiate family, anything that involves cocaine. Alcohol is still the #1 killer as far as all of this goes. Again, more than all drugs combined. And one of the things we got to think about that we're going to be talking about again this weekend when we're taping is not only our drinking career, at least my drinking career, Ryan's struggled with drugs, but not like alcohol like I did. I'm true alcoholic while being an addict too. And I remember like this very significant downturn in my use, in my alcoholism. And it kind of was because of one thing in my selections of alcohol, in fact. Looking back, when I swapped wine for vodka, it was a major downturn in my drinking career, my drinking life. It was so significant, just changing what I drank on the regular. If you're in this stressful situation, caregiving for one of us, the addict, the alcoholic, you know, when you're put in a position to be this ultimate provider for anyone, then be careful what you call for the hard stuff. If you're having a beer with dinner, whatever, it's when you start boozing in these social drinking times that could lead to alcoholic behavior here. I was a wino, okay? I was a big-time wino, but not like, the Samoa or the pretentiousness. I mean, it was white or red. Yeah. That was my wine selection. White
When you
or
got
red.
drunk, what type of drunk were you? Because there are different types, right? There's mean, surly drunk. There's the I'm quiet, I'm going to go dark man, everybody drunk. Or the I love you man drunk. There's a couple different types of groups. Who were you?
It just depends. At the start, I was fun-loving and, cracking jokes and flirty whiskey and all that. But I tell you what, the more my drinking career progressed, I'd say about 90 minutes later, that's when you'd fall back into that, regular drunk state where your eyes are all blanked out and you can feel them being so heavy and sucked into your head, and just sitting at the back of the bar. So it always start out, man. It always start out fun. It would start out, socially.
So what was the change then? What was
the change? Thank you, Jeff. I forgot that. The change is when I switched from wine to vodka. And I remember when I was producing the Chicks on the Ride.
That's a big jump, man.
Yeah, it's a huge jump. This was about 12 years ago. I was riding my bike to work every day, and I remember picking up a bottle of vodka instead of wine at the liquor stores right around the corner. It was the first time I actually thought to myself, you might have a problem. Now, granted, there was evidence years and years and years before that, ever since I started drinking when I was 14 years old. But it was that one point where I finally said, I'm not drinking wine anymore. I'm going straight vodka, and I'm getting this done. That's when I really became decrepit. That's when I came degenerate about my drinking. And through the act of God and people listening and people like you guys and Allison, that's how I was able to get better. So it takes a family. Sometimes it takes a village, but we do recover. We do get better.
So I'm going to ask you a question that was presented on YouTube. And if you don't want to answer, Matt, you can not answer, but I think people just want to understand the level of your problem. Somebody says they've got a half gallon of vodka that they've had in their house for like years. In your darkest points, how long would a half gallon of vodka last for you?
1 day and 1 morning.
That's it.
1 day and 1 morning. Wow. I could do a half gallon of vodka. At the end there, I would say about a fifth and a third a day through a day span. That would be from morning to night. I would drink a fifth and then a third of a fifth. A half gallon would be nothing to me. That would have been easy. Yeah,
dude, I love how open you are.
I would have pulled from the bottom. Yeah, okay. It was bad. All right. Yeah.
No, you're fine. And listen, these aren't easy questions, and you are so cool to answer these. Like, some people would be sweating. They would be like, this is embarrassing. This is humiliating. I don't want to talk about this to a friend, let alone on the #1 radio station in the state of Indiana. But you come in here every Friday and you give us your heart and soul. And I think that's incredibly just awesome of you.
It's such a blessing, and I didn't know it could be this good. And the thing is, with supporting sobriety, it is for the caregiver of people like Ryan and I, the people that take care of the alcoholics and the people we have tormented through our use. And I'm telling you, if you have somebody like Ryan and I, we do recover and we do get better. Now, we make the final decision. There's only so much you can do. We have to say, I'm ready. Those magic words at the end, I'm ready. I want to be sober. It is up to us in the end, but we can't do it without you guys.
Where can we find the podcast?
Supporting Sobriety, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you find a major podcast. We're on X and Instagram @ _sobriety_pod. @sobriety_pod. We'd love to have you part of the conversation.
If you go to WIBC.com, the station website, if you go under shows and scroll down, you'll find Supporting Sobriety. Click the link. It'll take you to the podcast.
Thank you.
Matt, you are a rock star. Thank you.
God bless you guys. Thanks for having me in today.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Looking for a great deal on a new Lincoln? Come to Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, now $15,000 off, and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. We look forward to seeing you at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 57,785. Offers good through April 30th, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
We are from Indiana. We know all about hard work, loyalty, and pragmatism in money management. These values are at the foundation of Trajan Wealth, locally owned and veteran-led. Matt Bear here. Hey, Trajan Wealth will collaborate with you, get to know you, and help you into an investment portfolio that's tailored to your visions of the future. Your first consultation is free. Call to schedule at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan Wealth is different from their competitors, focusing on low expenses, manager tenure, and tax efficiency. Their fiduciary advisors get to know you, and your individual portfolio is custom tailored to your goals and timeline. One size does not fit all. Call and schedule your first appointment at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first consultation is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
The April 15th deadline to file the FAFSA is fast approaching. When you complete the free application for federal student aid, you help your child access Indiana's nearly $400 million in financial aid, including programs like the 21st Century Scholarship. It also determines your student's eligibility for federal grants and scholarships for college or certificate programs. Visit studentaid.gov to get started. For complete information, go to learnmoreindiana.org/FAFSA. Paid for by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
All right, we're looking at Monument Circle right now, Hammer, and I still see police cars blocking the southern spoke. Excuse me while I peek out from the WIBC Traffic Center. Yeah, yellow tape up as cars are not able to pass through. We do have a wrecker on scene taking this vehicle out that did cause the police activity. The gentleman protesting is standing on top of the car. He has been detained. There's no threat to the public. All we have to do now is finish the investigation and get the car out of there. Southbound 69 crash at 82nd, backed up to 106. Northbound 6570 crash before Washington, backed up to West Street, and then to Tibbs Avenue on eastbound 70. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust a local, trust employee owned, trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
55 and rain at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. All right, we went way long with the breaking news. We went a little long with Matt Baer. So we're going to take another timeout. But when we come back, 5:06. Okay, mark your calendars, mark your watches. 5:06. John Herrick, the news director in studio, will reset the drama that we had out here on Monument Circle and the biggest stories of the day, including the severe weather that could be on the way. That's coming up 5:06.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Hammer and Nigel here for our friends at Diamonds Direct. And April is a big month. Did you know that diamonds happen to be the birthstone of April? So there you go. So if you've got a special somebody you need to buy a gift for, It just happens to be Diamond Month, and nobody does it better than Diamonds Direct. It's right there at Keystone at the Crossing by the Green Bridge. And once you go into Diamonds Direct, they treat you like a rock star. Everybody that goes in, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do for a living, you get treated like a celebrity. Nev, the guy that runs the store, the manager, awesome dude. Chris, one of these sales reps, she's the one that takes care of me, my wife, every time that we go in there. She's a rock star. And I'm telling you, if you need to get that home run gift for Mother's Day, if you need to get that early graduation gift, no matter what you're looking for, Diamonds Direct, they've got something, and probably for the best price. So do not waste any more time. Right now, Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing by the Green Bridge. Stop by, check out the diamonds, check out the pendants. Whatever you're into, check out the earrings. They've got something for you. Diamonds Direct, tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, it's hard to believe we're already a fourth of the way through the year. That means we're into April, and April means spring, and spring means getting your lawn in tip-top shape. Now, if you're like me, you're looking at it and going, man, I love my yard, but that is so much work. That's why you got to do what I did. Call my friends at Save-A-Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Head over to saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. SAVATREE.com and schedule your totally free evaluation and estimate. Sean from Save-A-Tree came out to my house. He was on time. He was professional. And he gave me some ideas on how to get my lawn looking great after some tough winter weather. And they can do the same for you, making your yard the envy of the neighborhood. Saveatree.com, SAVATREE.com, or just hit pound 250 on your cellular device. Use the keyword Save-A-Tree. Save-A-Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Tell them Rob sent you.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again, because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News. 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
From the new U.S. trade policy.
It was those Trump tariffs sparking a strong response from China this morning. They announced a 34% retaliatory tariff that originally today sent stocks lower for a second trading day. The Dow Industrials entered correction territory, falling 10% below its high. The Nasdaq entered a bear market. That's a retrenchment of 20%.
Fox Business's Jerry Willis, it's the worst 2-day decline since March of 2020 when we went into COVID lockdown. Oregon Democratic Senator Ron Wyden.
It's a bloodbath in the markets again today. And what you have all over the country now is Americans wincing as they look at their retirement accounts.
The Fed chair says the tariffs are larger than expected and could have a bigger impact on inflation and economic growth. But the White House says the president is focused on Main Street, not Wall Street, emphasizing companies planning more U.S. investment and some countries reaching out for new deals. The March jobs report coming in stronger than expected. 228,000 created, including a rebound for manufacturing jobs.
The last 2 months of the Biden administration lost 15,000 jobs. With this report, the first 2 months of the Trump administration, we're seeing manufacturing adding 9,000 jobs. Now, to keep this going, market experts believe the tax cuts need to come sooner rather than later, given the tariffs.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence at the White House. The Senate Minority Leader suggesting the president's aiming for distraction with another extension of the deadline to save TikTok. An executive order signed today gives another 75 days to broker a deal for U.S. ownership. The Chinese owner has to divest from the app to avoid a ban. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
daring police to shoot him. Most of the rain has moved off to the north for now. More is likely this evening and this weekend, though. A flood watch remains in effect. It's 58 downtown. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. A man on Monument Circle, possibly armed and daring cops to do something about it.
There was some sort of altercation between them. He comes over here. He stops. He gets out of his car, and he's waving a flag out that says Free Haiti. And he started telling the police to kill him. He said, just kill me, and I want to go see my mom. And then what happened is he took off running.
John Herrick on the Circle, scanner traffic indicating lots of officers being called to get control of the situation. In Shelby County.
So, yes, we do have an order in place.
Dennis Radican is the emergency manager for the county, where water is already up to some homes. He says the evacuation order for people in low-lying areas is mandatory.
It was the sheriff and the fire department that went around this afternoon and talked to all the people in these low-lying areas, and before the order was placed, just to let them know that, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. So, yes, law enforcement has been involved.
No estimate yet on the cost of Wednesday's tornadoes across Indiana, and damage assessments are still happening, with many emergency managers, like Mr. Radican, busy for now preparing for flooding and the property damage that may cause this weekend. In Carmel,
we're going to conduct business and make sure that we preserve the safety of our community the best that we can.
DJ Sheff is the deputy chief of police.
Sometimes that means locating some of those structures that have need for extra security and so forth, and spending a little bit more time in those areas.
He says many people in Carmel feel fortunate because most of the debris that was in the streets was cleaned up quickly, and besides the area that was hit, the city is operating normally. Starting December 20th, Delta Airlines will offer Saturday-only nonstop service from Indianapolis International Airport to Cancun. That flight will run through April 12th and will be operated on a Boeing 737-800, which has first class, Delta Comfort Plus, and, of course, economy seating. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
It's April, and the changing weather brings an increased risk of rain. With those showers comes the potential for water to find its way into your basement, leading to wet floors, condensation, musty smells, or even mold and rot. If you're seeing any of these signs, now is the time to act before it becomes a bigger issue. Indiana Foundation Service specializes in providing reliable basement waterproofing solutions to keep your home dry throughout the spring and beyond. They'll work closely with you to create a customized plan tailored to your basement's needs. From sealing cracks to improving drainage or installing sump pumps, Indiana Foundation Service has the right solution to protect your home from water damage. Don't wait for the next rainstorm to discover you have a problem. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today for a free no-pressure inspection and quote. Indiana Foundation Service. Trusted local experts with the knowledge and experience to solve your basement waterproofing needs.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, Pike Township crash northbound 65 before 86th Street. And it's a crash blocking the right shoulder, causing stop-and-go traffic 271st. Rubber decking in those southbound lanes before 86th Street down to the crash site. Eastbound 70, 20-minute delay, Tibbs Avenue into Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65, stop-and-go from 29th to Meridian Bend. Westbound 70. Dragging from the east side, that's Emerson Avenue, into the north split. South side, eastbound 465, stop and go after 31 over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Tracking heavy rain to Friday night along with severe weather. Low threat of damaging wind, but all hazards possible along and south of Interstate 70. Expecting another 2 to 4 inches of rain by Sunday morning with a heightened flood risk in place. I'm Wish TV Star Trek 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! A lot of stuff going on today. A lot of stuff. We keeping our eye on the weather. Could see some severe weather again here in the WIBC listening area a little bit later on. More rain tomorrow, severe winds. Man, it's been a rough stretch, so be weather aware. Also, there was a press conference earlier today. Sounds like we, as law-abiding citizens and taxpayers, are about to get the shaft when it comes to property tax relief. We had Rob Kendall on earlier. He covered that press conference. If you want to hear that, Allison will post that as a podcast at the Hammer and Nigel page of WIBC.com. And then we had a little protest on Monument Circle. This kind of came out of nowhere, and our news director, John Herrick, was down there in the mix, along with Jeff Boggs, who's filling in for Nigel today. Both of you guys went down there on the circle, took some video. John, reset what happened.
So I just finished writing the article. It's at the top of the website, WIBC.com. And initially what happened was there was a call that came in about an armed man with a gun in downtown Indianapolis. And the next thing you know, Matt Bear alerts me to the fact that there's police sirens on the circle. So I run down there. Of course, Jeff ran down there as well. And we saw this man pull around in a silver Honda Accord. And the cops are yelling at him. They've got their guns drawn. He gets out of the Honda Accord. He starts waving around a flag that says Free Haiti. And it's a white flag with Free Haiti on it is what it says. And then instead of him saying just Free Haiti, then the conversation escalates to him saying about how he misses his mother and he misses his family. The cops are telling him to put the gun down. He just keeps saying, kill me, just kill me. If you've heard any IMPD body cam video in the past where people have told them that, IMPD is going to do everything they can not to kill that person. So they didn't kill him. They were able to finally subdue him and get him on the ground. And even as they were pulling him away, he still was chanting all these things about Haiti and how there's issues going on in Haiti. So
he's still doing it right now. I'm looking at the window on Monument Circle. They've got him sitting up in the back of the police van, and he's still yelling and getting mouthy. A question that I got from someone, did the flag guy, the protester, did he fire shots at any point?
So I did talk to one eyewitness down there who said that the man fired off his gun and he heard a click. But nothing came out of the click. It was just empty. Now, I don't know if he had bullets in the gun and didn't realize he didn't have bullets in there, but it was empty, and the police were trying to just get him to drop it. He also had alcohol on him. So at the very beginning of all this, he gets out of the car, and he's pouring alcohol all over the street and around the car. Oh. So what made me worried about that is, okay, if he can't get something done with the gun, does he try to light that alcohol on fire and set himself on fire or the car on fire or God knows what else? So those are all these things happening, and luckily nothing happened with the alcohol, but clearly this man was not in his right mind.
Right, John. I'll tell you, when I was down there, when I so bravely went down there to cover the story, I was worried about a car bomb. Because the way that it looked, I didn't see a gun in the hand, and I was pretty close. But the fact that you just said he was pouring alcohol around the vehicle, that was my biggest fear, was that there was incendiary devices in the car.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen issues like this happening in other cities in the country where people are either setting other people on fire or setting themselves on fire.
Right.
So my first thought is he going to try to set someone on fire, or is he going to try to set himself on fire? And thankfully, none of those things happened.
John Herrick is the news director here at 93 WIBC, and Jeff Boggs is filling in for Nige. Again, just so I can get as much information as I can, do we know if Flag Guy, and that's what I'm going to call this protester, Haitian Flag Guy, did he point the weapon at anybody? Because as Guy Relford has texted me, if he pointed that weapon at anybody, whether it's loaded or unloaded, that's a crime.
Yeah, well, one thing I saw him do, and I didn't see him point it at this eyewitness, although this eyewitness I spoke to said he did point it at him. I saw him point the gun at his own head several times, which makes you wonder. He clearly was contemplating taking his own life at one point, which the police did a phenomenal job of trying to say it's not worth it. Don't do this. you don't want to do this. They said that to him numerous times. So where I saw him point the gun was at his head numerous times, and thankfully he didn't make any rash decisions regarding that. But he did point it at his head.
So what more information do we need on this, John? I know you were talking to a number of people here. What pieces of information are we waiting on?
Well, I'm waiting to see if IMPD is going to give a briefing about this. I don't know if they're going to, just so if they can give us any more information other than what we already have written about on WIBC.com, what he was saying, how he was arrested. The situation is still blocked off. They've still got most of the circle blocked off, and they don't want people coming near there. I guess my question is, where is the next question I want to try to get answers to is, where is this man from? Is he from Indiana? Is he from another country? He said Haiti a bunch. Maybe he's from there. I'd like to learn a little bit more about this background of him if the police are willing to share it. So that'll be the next steps I try to go after.
Well, again, great work from you, Jeff Boggs, Matt Baer, and especially the IMPD who took a crazy situation. I mean, weapons were drawn at one point. Police had rifles out and weapons were drawn. They were following this lunatic all around Monument Circle as he ran up and down the stairs of the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. You guys were out there covering it. Team coverage. Great job, guys.
And thank you for saying that, Hammer. And also, I want to thank IMPD for letting us do our job. I know it's not always easy to have a great relationship with the police as journalists. There's been issues with that on a nationwide scale. But thank you to IMPD for letting us do our job and at least keep people informed of what was going on.
That's John Herrick, the news director here at WIBC. Jeff, making the pivot to tariff talk. We're talking tariffs here. China is now set to impose a 34% tariff on imported American goods as a little response to the United States tariffs on Chinese imports. Now, what's making its way around social media today, and I think you sent me this link earlier on, 1996. It was a great year. I graduated high school that year, Beech Grove High School, and a much younger Nancy Pelosi was in the House of Representatives, and the speech she gave on the floor in 96 about tariffs between the United States and China sounds an awful lot like one orange man's plan today.
In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Is that reciprocal? On exports, China only allows certain industries into China, of U.S. Industries into China, and therefore only 2% of U.S. exports are allowed into China. On the other hand, the U.S. allows China to flood our markets with a third of their exports, and that'll probably go over 40%. And it's limitless because we have not placed any restriction. In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade. China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States, 170,000 jobs, whereas our imports from China support 10 million jobs at least. Fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser.
Hey guys, don't get influenced by people on social media about this tariff stuff. Nancy Pelosi just set it up pretty well. It's unfair, and that's Nancy Pelosi 30 years and $200 million in the stock market ago. But Nancy set it up pretty well. It's not fair what's happening, and so moving forward, we have to do something.
And you're so right about the social media stuff. Coming up at 5:33 here, John Carney, who is the finance expert at Breitbart. I've tasked him with doing talking tariffs for dummies today, right? So you can combat what your idiot friends all write on social media at 6:30 in the morning before they even get out of bed and go pee.
So here's a question for you, and I thought about this today. China announced 34% tariff on all incoming U.S. goods. Does this mean Eric Swalwell will be spending 34% more on Chinese hooker spies, or will he cut 34% of the Chinese hooker spy usage to offset the costs?
The only thing he cuts is the cheese on TV.
Right.
So I'm going with choice A on that one. Choice A, I believe. Jeff Boggs filling in for Big Nige. Real quick, before we hit a break here, Mr. Attorney General of the great state of Indiana, Todd Rokita, give me some legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
Comedian Russell Brand. He's now become like a political talk show figure. Used to be comedian and actor. Used to be very left, very liberal. Now he's kind of got more conservative views, or at least libertarian views. He's being charged with rape and sexual assault by UK police. 50-year-old Russell Brand charged with 1 count of rape, 1 count of indecent assault, 1 count of oral rape, 2 counts of sexual assault. This is according to the London Metropolitan Police Department in a statement they put out earlier today. Now, according to this police department, it's alleged that one woman was raped in 1999 in southern England. One woman was indecently assaulted in Westminster area in 2001. Another one back in 2004. And another woman between 2004 and 2005. So these are some pretty old cases here, Jeff, but serious charges.
Yeah, listen, this is obviously incredibly serious stuff. Russell Brand was a guy who, he's openly talked about it. He had been to P. Diddy parties. Tom Green talked about it on stage, how Russell called him out once and said, I was there with Tom Green and we left early. But, you know, this is a guy who lived that lifestyle. Now, here he is now, a man who has converted to Christianity and become a bit of a conservative icon in the last year. I root for him, and I hope all that sticks, and it's not like a Kanye quick situation where he flips one way and then gets crazy. I root for him. I'm proud of what he's doing now. It doesn't absolve you from your past life. And so the only thing I will say is this. This was a long time ago, so it's interesting the timing of this coming up now. I always feel like if you're only mad about sexual assault when it's a conservative who does it, then it's really not the sexual assault that you're mad about.
And listen, I'm going to let all the information play out because people have been burned by this kind of crap before. I'm not somebody that believes all women. And if that makes me a horrible bastard, then so be it. But I think believe all women is a bunch of crap. Tell that to the Duke lacrosse kids. Tell that to Trevor Bauer. Tell that to the Buffalo Bills punter. I mean, there's a long list of people who have had their lives ruined by women just flat out lying.
Yeah, and Allison, you and I were talking about this the other day. It's like how unfair to the actual victims of sexual assault, you know, for all of this craziness to go around. We obviously, you know, you feel for the victims. If this really happened, oh my goodness, I feel horrible for these women.
Absolutely. Let the information play out. Just let the information come out, and it's okay not to have a hot take right out of the gate. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
All right, here it is. Boone County. Both directions of I-65 are closed between State Road 267 and State Road 35, actually between that Indianapolis Avenue exit 138 of Lebanon. So all lanes shut down. Again, both directions of I-65, just no passage at all on that interstate between State Road 267 and Indianapolis Avenue exit 138. It is a crash with injury causing this closure. I'm told that we had action in the median and injuries have been reported as well. Reroutes are in order. Looking at inbound 69 crash at 82nd Street. On the shoulder, slow to 96. Eastbound 70, stop and go traffic. Belmont to the south split. Inbound 65 is cooled off, still slow. MLK to Meridian Penn. And then northbound 6570 still slow from an earlier crash. So much better south split up to Washington Street. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
55 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Are you thinking this year I want to look and feel better and get my hair back? We Grow Hair Indy can help you do just that. I'm Rob, and I got my hair back at We Grow Hair Indy. Here's Darren Andrews, clinic director, to tell you why I chose them.
For nearly 20 years, we've helped thousands of clients grow their hair back, and we can help you. We're one of only 2 places in the entire country to offer the Artist Robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting.
I got multi-unit hair grafting. I love the results and cannot believe how much hair I got back. I can't recommend them enough. Call right now, 317-522-2995 for a free evaluation. Great technology, great company, great people, great results. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com, see my results, and call 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Don't you want to say, I got my hair back?
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling? We'll find that independent American Standard air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Jeff Boggs in for Nigel. Jeff, is this anything? The reboot of the movie The Naked Gun is coming out. Liam Neeson is taking on the role that made Leslie Nielsen come back to our TV screens and movie screens back in the late 80s, early 90s. The first trailer for the new Naked Gun movie, produced by Seth MacFarlane, just dropped the other day. Here's a little bit.
Who are you?
Frank Drebin, Police Squad. The new version. Hi, Daddy. It's me, Frank Jr. Love you.
So Frank Jr. is played by Liam Neeson in the new Naked Gun comedy produced by Seth MacFarlane.
It's so something. I mean, I honestly didn't want to like it. I was like, because I love The Naked Gun. That movie really inspires you as a kid. You're like, oh, wow. Do you remember the funniest line from the original was Frank Drebin going, I'm sorry, but when I see 3 people stabbing a guy in the park, I shoot the bastards. And the woman goes, that was a performance of Shakespeare in the park. And he responds, I know that. Now that you know, that's a lot to hold up to.
It is.
This trailer was phenomenal because Leslie Nielsen is an inspired choice to take over. You know, it makes
Liam
sense. Liam Neeson to take over for Leslie Nielsen. Genius. But if you haven't seen it, the last scene with O.J. Simpson on the wall sells it for me, because I was wondering, how are they going to get Nordberg into this? And oh my, does it look like it's going to be good.
My favorite quote from the first Naked Gun movie, as a baseball guy, if I'm going to a baseball game and somebody is just doing a disservice to the national anthem, I every time want to jump up and yell, "Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo!" Right. Like, I love that line. I love it. Now, it was David Zucker who produced the first one. One of the guys behind like Airplane and those types of comedy movies. He does not like this new remake.
Really?
He was quoted in an interview, if he was asked on seeing the movie, quote, "I'm not planning on seeing the Naked Gun remake. I regret having seen the trailer for it. I can't unsee it." That's David Zucker.
What would that be about? There has to be something. There has to be bad blood there. Like maybe Seth MacFarlane is producing and directing the new one. Which man, I wish Seth MacFarlane was on our side of conservatives, because he's really funny, but he's a flaming liberal. But there must be something with Zucker with that, because the trailer got a lot of traction online, and people are very positive and excited for that.
Is this anything? NBA star Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves just did a power play to his baby mama. He wrote her a check for $1,080,000 in child support all at once. He says that covers 18 years worth of payments, $5,000 a month. He doesn't want to pay every month. He gave her a big check and said, "Don't ask me for a thing the next 18 years. Are you okay with this?"
No, I'm not okay with this at all, because what a dumb move. This is like the lottery when, you take the lump sum or the payments. But the problem here is, I don't know if it's ironclad. Is it like a prenup? Did she have to sign something that says I can't get anything for 18? Because that money's going to be gone pretty quick. That's $1 million, right? That's going to be gone pretty quick after the car and the new house. You got to pay for those.
Well, so Anthony Edwards is like, listen, we had a one-night stand. You got knocked up. You dropped my shorty. We're not in a relationship here. So here's $1 million. $1 million to me, an all-NBA first-team guy. This is like any other person finding $100 in their coat pocket. Go away. The kid's going to have a good life with $1 million put to the side. Now leave me alone.
Well, although point counterpoint, Elon Musk is handing out $3 million per kid. So I don't know.
Well, when Anthony Edwards start landing planes on chopsticks, I guess we'll be able to have that debate. All right, coming up here in just about, 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, we will kick off the weekend with Beer Sample Friday. But up next, one of our favorites, John Carney, the finance expert of Breitbart. He is going to do some tariff talk for dummies, so you can understand what's going on and why all of your liberal friends whose heads are spinning around like Beetlejuice don't know their rear end from a hole in the wall. That conversation's coming up next, right after we break down and have a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Maniacal happening on Monument Circle. Rain has cleared most of the Indy Metro, but more is on the way from the west. A line of storms in Illinois now and a flood watch in effect. It's 55. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. A man waving a flag, possibly armed, on Monument Circle and in that immediate area downtown. If you can't make out what he's saying, he's demanding that cops kill him. IMPD officers handling the situation with restraint, saying they don't want to do that. This man says he had a gun pointed right at him by the guy.
Did he point the gun at you?
He pointed right at my chest.
Okay. What did he say to you when he did that?
He's saying free Haiti, and that's why he's saying people hate me. They're not understanding what he's saying. He's saying free Haiti.
Okay.
All you can do is pray for people.
IMPD has plenty of officers there to make sure the man doesn't hurt anybody. A mandatory evacuation order if you live in low-lying, flood-prone areas of Shelby County. That's how emergency management is putting it. They say people sometimes don't listen, so the Sheriff's Department is helping get that message out that property and people might be in danger because of flooding. A rough afternoon if you have investments. The Dow down more than 2,000 points.
Stocks plunging with the Nasdaq entering into a bear market as trade tensions drive recession fears. Investors are brushing off a surprisingly good jobs report for March and remain focused on the trade war after China retaliates. China said it would impose an additional 34% tariff on all imported U.S. goods, matching President Trump's latest levies on Chinese imports. Fed Chair Jerome Powell adding insult to injury today and making comments fueling investors' worries. Powell says that he sees tariffs resulting in a temporary rise in inflation and slower economic growth. All 11 of the S&P 500 sectors fell and were down more than 2.5%. Nike, the only Dow winner, the worst Dow decliners, Goldman Sachs, Visa, and Travelers. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
93 WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, here it is. Boone County I-65 closed in both directions, northbound and southbound between State Road 267 and Lebanon exit 138. The Lebanon interchange 138, I-65 completely shut down because of a crash. The median is involved, and I've been told one person at least was injected from a vehicle. That's one ejection in this crash. So serious injuries. People are on scene, emergency personnel, but right now plan another way. Again, I-65 closed in both directions between State Road 67. Northbound lanes backed up to Whitestown Parkway. Southbound lanes stopped from Lebanon exit 138 back to State Road 32. So hell of a delay up there to go with the crash. Inbound 69 stop and go traffic 96 to 82nd because of a crash. East side northbound 465 after East 56th Street. That's a wreck. I'm told multiple vehicles involved. Slow back to Penn Pike and in Greenwood. Serious crash westbound Main Street approaching I-65. That is a crash blocking that westbound side. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust a local, trust employee owned. Trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Tracking heavy rains of Friday night along with severe weather, low threat of damaging wind, but all hazards possible along and south of Interstate 70. Expecting another 2 to 4 inches of rain by Sunday morning with a heightened flood risk in place. I'm Wish TV Star Trek 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
A lot of people talking finance, talking economics, talking tariffs. But the thing is, a lot of those people don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Social media is a cesspool of fake economic experts right now. Somebody that actually does know what's happening, someone that talks about it for a living, is Breitbart News finance and economics editor John Carney. He joins us now. And John, we were kind of laughing a little bit earlier. The same people who were experts on war planning and social media apps the last couple of weeks, all of a sudden they're tariff experts on social media. It's wild.
Yeah. By the way, a lot of these people were the same people who told us that Biden inflation was just going to be transitory. We had nothing to worry about. It was going to go away, or it was good for us, or it was all the fault of Putin, right? These people have no idea what they're talking about. And yes, we suddenly have a whole breed of tariff experts telling us they know exactly what's going to happen. And also that Trump is doing it wrong. That somehow he should have done it a different way and not the way he's doing it. It's all ridiculous. This is actually a plan that's been in the works for years, and I am very happy to see it finally coming to fruition. It really is something we were hoping for in the first Trump administration. I'm glad this time that they are in overdrive. They're not waiting, and we've seen this time and time again, whether it's the things that DOGE is doing, whether it is the, taking down the Department of Education, firing a bunch of people at HHS. Trump isn't waiting this time. He's going full speed, and I think that's great.
Okay, so, John, talk to us like we're five here, because I know there's a lot of complicated stuff going on, and depending on where you get your news, people are hearing different things. You've even got some Republicans getting squirrely and speaking out against this. In the easiest way imaginable, why are you okay with all this?
So the main thing to remember is that the United States has the most important economy in the entire world. We are the most powerful consumer nation anywhere. So if lots of countries want to sell stuff to Americans, we can charge what I'll call a cover charge to come into the United States market. We can say, that's fine. Welcome aboard. You can sell things to our country, but we're going to have a 10% tariff on everybody. And by the way, if we think that you're a bad actor, if we think you've been treating us shabbily, it's going to be higher than 10%. We are going to do something to match your trade barriers, the reasons why you're not buying things from our country. We're going to charge a higher tariff on you. It's very simple. It's very fair. And frankly, it's way overdue. Countries have been charging tariffs and putting up barriers against U.S. products for 3 generations now, and we've allowed it to happen. Now that we're finally responding, suddenly people are saying, whoa, we didn't know you could do that. We didn't know you were allowed to do the policies that we've been doing to you for 3 generations.
And, John, what would you say to the folks that voted for Donald Trump that don't consider themselves Republicans? To win all of those swing states, to win every one of them, Donald Trump had to pick up some folks that don't really have an R next to their name. What do you say to them when they see the stock market going down and all this doom and gloom all over the media?
So first of all, I want to point out we got a really good jobs report in today. The Wall Street predicted that we would have 140,000 jobs added to the economy in March. We got 228,000. So the doom and gloom that you're seeing in the stock market or from analysts is wrong. They are predicting things, bad things for the economy, because they don't understand how this is going to work. This is going to create jobs in America. It is going to increase the national income of our country. It will make America a wealthier country. It will probably actually make trade freer over time, because we're already seeing it. Vietnam has come, with their hat in hand saying, please lower the tariff. What do we need to do? And the answer is, if you open your country up to American products that are made by American workers, we will lower the tariffs on you. That's what reciprocity means. We are more than happy to work with you. So this is going to lead to a more prosperous America, a more prosperous world. Yes, the tariffs were higher than people on Wall Street thought they would be. And so the stock market is reacting negatively. But sometimes the stock market reacts negatively to things that are good. When Jerome Powell said that the Fed was going to need to raise rates a lot to fight off inflation, remember he made that speech in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, a couple years ago, and it sent the market down. I think the NASDAQ dropped 4% that day. Is that the wrong thing to do just because the stock market dropped? No, it was unexpected. The stock market dropped, but it was absolutely the right thing to do for the long term.
Speaking with Breitbart News finance and economics editor John Carney here on the Hammer and Nigel show. The other key word we hear a lot is recession. Recession. This is just speeding up the recession.
Yeah, look, the economy was weaker than people thought when Biden left office. They were doing everything to juice it. Remember, the Fed cut interest rates 3 times. When you look at what happened in the fourth quarter GDP at the end of the Biden administration, there were problems. Manufacturing employment contracted for something like 28 months in a row. So there were problems with the economy. But what we're doing now is not going to cause those problems to become worse. And in fact, the Trump economic policy package, taking it as a whole, tax cuts, deregulation, energy abundance, those are recipes for a booming economy. So I don't think that we're headed towards a recession. And in fact, look, even though the headlines are full of that kind of talk, Jerome Powell, speaking today, said that's not what we think is going to happen. Jerome Powell's not a big fan of Donald Trump. He's the head of the Federal Reserve. He said that they think the economy is on solid footing. There are risks. There are always risks to the economy, but we're not headed towards a recession.
So I guess the $1 million question becomes, how soon will Americans start seeing some positive news come out of this? Prices go down. Maybe some of these European Union folks come to the table. Like, I know you don't have a crystal ball in front of you, but how do you think this ultimately plays out?
So the European Union is a really good question. They're going to fight tooth and nail. Remember what the European Union is. It is a protectionist zone. They have built a wall around Europe to keep out products. And they have free trade within Europe, but protection against it. So that is actually, other than China, I think the EU is going to be one of the hardest fights. They are going to fight it tooth and nail. They run a $350 billion trade surplus against us. So they are a major trading partner, but they sell us much more than we sell them. They are going to fight to preserve that status quo with everything they have. I do think what we're going to do is get good news. Once the stock market figures out that Trump isn't backing off of tariffs, we'll probably get a little bit more of a downturn in the major indexes when people finally capitulate to the idea that this is the way things are going to go. And then we're going to see stocks start to climb as people realize that there are not only losers from the end of the old regime where the U.S. was getting its clocked clean by the rest of the world, but there will be winners in the new regime, and we will be able to, and stocks will start to rise. I think the economy will really take off once we get certainty on the tax cuts. Basically, those Republicans in the Senate and the House need to stop dithering and get a bill passed right away that does tax cuts for, make sure that we're not taxing Social Security, make sure that we're not taxing overtime, make sure we're not taxing tips, make sure that the tax hikes that Biden was trying to put in place never come about, and then do even more. President Trump has talked about bringing the corporate tax rate down to 15% for domestic producers. Great idea. We need 100% depreciation. If you build a factory in the U.S., you should get a huge tax write-off for that factory. Let's do this. It will make the economy boom. I think that can come very soon. We just really do need Congress to get moving on these tax bills.
John Carney is the Breitbart News finance and economics editor, also part of the Breitbart Business Digest newsletter, which he co-authors every day. Comes out every day along with Breitbart's editor-in-chief, Alex Marlow. Tell me about the newsletter, John, and the content that you pump out on this thing. It's not like you're just mailing it in. This is some good stuff here.
Thanks. It is, my prize product. One of the things I really try to do, so we do a lot of reporting, just the facts. If you go to Breitbart.com on the morning when there is a jobs report, you're going to get that jobs report. What Breitbart Business Digest does, and it'll come straight to everybody's inbox. Sign up for it at the top. There's a newsletter column. Click on that, and you can sign up for it. It comes to your inbox, and it explains what happened, why that happened, and what it means for the future. I think that's crucially important because a lot of people, we get so much economic data and people need to know what it means. That's what Breitbart Business Digest tries to do, is tell you what it means.
There's a lot of idiots on social media, and if you want to be the smartest person in the room, subscribe to that Business Digest newsletter from Breitbart right now. Have that sent to your inbox. John, I always love when you come on the show. You break things down in such an easy way for everybody. Have a great weekend, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me. Have a great weekend.
I don't know about you, but this feels like it's been a long week. There's been storms, tornadoes, all types of just bad news. How about we have something fun? How about we share a beer? How about we kick off the weekend with Beer Sample Friday next?
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
Hammer and Nigel for our good friends at Window Nation. Look, the weather in Indiana's nuts. My grandfather used to always say, if you don't like the weather in Indiana, go to hell. Now, I don't know if that's the right phrase or not, but he's right. It's crazy. 1 minute it's super windy and there's tornadoes. The next minute it's freezing. The next minute it's 70. But if you get the right windows that are energy efficient, the perfect climate stays in your home. The crazy stuff stays out. And you'll notice your heating and air bill will be lower and lower. And that's where Window Nation comes in. Window Nation, the best in the business. I know this because I'm a customer. When Window Nation comes out to your house, they measure multiple times. They bring out an experienced tech. They get in, they get out, and it's awesome. Become a customer of Window Nation and do it right now and take advantage of this deal. 4 windows for free with every 4 that you buy. And there's no limit. Buy more, get more for free. 0 interest for 2 years. That's fancy talk for you don't pay anything for 2 years. And if you buy a house full of windows, you get a free entry door. So again, now is the time to become a customer of Window Nation. 866-90-NATION. Call that number, 866-90-NATION. They will answer any question you have or go online, windownation.com. Be sure to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news! The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to vaxassist.com and schedule today. That's vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text MONEY to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
What's up, Matt Baer?
Moon County Hammer. I-65 closed in both directions. Northbound and southbound 65 shut down between State Road 267 and 11 and exit 138. That's Indianapolis Road, Indianapolis Avenue, which becomes Lafayette Road in Indianapolis. So that might be part of your reroute. Again, I-65 closed both directions in Boone County between State Road 267 and Lebanon exit 138. Looking at eastbound 70 approaching the south split. This is a crash at West Street blocking 2 right lanes, stopping traffic back to Belmont. East side Lawrence. 2 crashes on northbound 465 about a quarter of a mile apart around Fall Creek Road. This is going to be blocking the right lane in both of them with traffic stop past Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by B-Window. Right now, B-Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust local, trust employee-owned. Trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
More storms on the way, but right now, cloudy skies. 55 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and it's Beer Sample Friday.
Right now,
Hammer and Nigel present Beer Sample
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down, get you some.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress down in Columbus. These guys, owned and operated by the same family since 1927, and they love WIBC. They love the Hammer and Nigel show. So take care of these guys. If you need a new couch, a new love seat, whatever you're looking for, an awesome Tempur-Pedic mattress that adjusts. Maybe it's got a little massage feature on it. That's what I got. You can get that at Thompson Furniture and Mattress. Stop by. They're rock stars. free delivery within 75 miles of the store. Now, Mr. Boggs, filling in for Big Nige. I say all the time, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. And this brings us to a little something that I found called Breakfast Stout by Founders. Founders Double Chocolate Coffee Oatmeal Stout. It's a breakfast stout beer.
Huh. So you're saying this is coffee, oatmeal, and alcohol?
Correct.
You got
all the things that used to get Charlie Sheen out of bed, sans the cocaine.
Sure. Well, should we try it?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Cheers, everybody.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
You can
Now,
taste the oatmeal.
See, I taste the coffee. I taste the coffee more than anything, but I'm not a big coffee guy. As you know, I'm a nectar of the gods dude. I like Mountain Dew Zero, maybe a little tequila in there, but I'm a caffeine through soft drink guy. Not a coffee dude, but a little bit of that flavor in this makes it really good.
Yeah. I don't know if I could have 12 of them, but I can definitely enjoy one.
Right. So this is real good. Founders Breakfast Stout, roasted coffee, sweet and decadent. Which, by the way, I think I saw them open up for Whitesnake back in 1990. You went down to the Circle, Jeff, earlier, risking life and limb. There was a lunatic with a weapon. Police had weapons drawn, and you went down there right into the jungle.
You know, I'm reticent to talk about this. A lot of people I know on the website and texting me, calling me a hero. I don't know if I believe that at all, but I was just doing what any other, I guess, heroic person would do. I went down there, and the people of Indianapolis were in danger, and so I walked toward danger. And just to reiterate, Nigel is on the beach right now, drinking beer.
Correct.
Just having a good time, and I'm out in the mean streets, risking my life to help all of you. So anyway, it's been a fun week.
If you put your ear up to the radio, you could actually hear Allison roll her eyes right there. That was pretty impressive. I don't know how many people heard it, but I think you could if you really applied yourself. And if you missed it, we had a little fun with Nigel on social media. Thanks to the magic of AI, we now know what it looks like when Nigel is sitting on a chair at the beach, gets up, walks toward the water, and is wearing a European-style thong.
But can we talk about how it started? All I did on our text thread, I said, hey, Nigel, can you send me a picture of how your vacation's going? And he sent us back right a little too quick. One of him laying back on a beach chair and just enjoying the sun.
But it looked like he had been waiting for someone to ask him to send a photo.
That's why I did it. You know, the guy probably was missing you, missed me a little bit, and Allison. But my goodness, I don't know how you did that, Hammer, but that was really funny in the thong.
And the other video I was going to make was like AI Allison coming down to massage him.
Oh, no.
But
no, we're done with AI Allison. We're done.
After AI Allison has made out with Joe Biden and Nigel, I kind of felt like
been through a lot.
AI Allison needs therapy.
Yeah,
actually,
she
that's.
Oh Lord.
We've had a wild afternoon. So woke up today thinking the weather would be the big story, right? Because more storms are coming tonight. Some places, like down in Shelby County, they already have tremendous flooding where places are closed. Well, more storms are coming tonight. More rain tomorrow. So yes, that is a big story. Winds will be pretty wild. Be weather aware. But then we've got the House Republicans at the Indiana legislature holding a press conference to tell you how you're going to get screwed on property tax. That became a big deal. Rob Kendall broke that down for us earlier. And we had action out on Monument Circle. Jeff Boggs and Matt Baer and John Herrick were down there watching gunplay. We dealt with a lot of stuff around here, so I think it's okay to crack open a cold one on Beer Sample Friday and officially kickstart the weekend. More Hammer and Nigel show when we come back. Cheers, everybody. You deserve it. Ooh.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint. And the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25 5-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can have Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
From the moment our eyes met, I knew it was love at first sight. She had such a playful sense of humor. And when I look in that sparkle in her eyes, I just melt. My folks always said to find the girl I can't live without. And my heart says she's the one. So I'm going to Pierce Jewelers in Carmel for that perfect diamond engagement ring. Nothing says I love you more than an engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers. She pierced my heart. Now I'm going to pierce hers. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Pierce Jewelers.
Hey, it's JMV, and spring is on its way, and the greenhouse will be filling up soon at Miss M's Home and Garden. The nursery lot is filling up with a great selection of trees and shrubs arriving weekly. Get an early start to the planting season. Enjoy your new landscape this spring and your new outdoor furniture. Save 20% on all in-stock patio furniture at Miss M's this week. Shop their high-quality poly outdoor living selection, including dinner sets and deep seating. That's Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 South.